Yeah, that's for sure.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is on the bench, right?
Yeah, man. On the bench. I had a couple people reach out to me to see how they could win the tickets. To the,
I like it. Was Wayne one of them?
No. No, I think he's
Wayne
just
should come.
BSing. Do I know him?
No, I want to have him on the show. He's one of the old soccer guys from back in the day.
Oh, okay.
He's cool.
But I see him coming all the time.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's a good dude. He's like a former Marine and all that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, we can get him a military discount to the.
That dude, we need to comment back with that.
To the lingerie basketball game.
Dude, that would be awesome. We got to comment back on that.
None but ass. Look at T calling me a minute before we supposed to go live. Yo, what's going on?
Hey, I'm at the door, but I think it's locked.
Nah, door can't be locked. It's always open. You at the right door under the carport?
Yeah, when you come through the first door, when everybody outside, then you get in the little hallway. Whatever door leads into that studio is locked.
Oh, okay. Let me come. You know, okay. Marvylus finna come get you. Marvylus. All right. Yep.
Locked out. TP.
It's one of those times again, man, where it's like I felt like wasn't gonna be much to talk about, and then it's like the day of, man, it explodes with all this stuff going on. All this crazy stuff.
The Diddy stuff's just getting wilder and wilder.
Did
you see that? I just saw something now that the mother of one of 50's sons is now accused of being a Diddy sex worker.
Yeah, sex work, and then you got the drug mules and all that.
Yeah.
Just watch out for the cable, brother.
What's pink cocaine?
Everybody's trying to figure that out now.
Yeah.
Cause they said that's what Young Miami was pushing.
What is that, man?
Pink cocaine.
Did you already do it? Never mind.
Yeah.
I just did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it turn pink when it's in a cooch?
Oh, Jesus!
Listen, man, I hit a bitch one time, man, the baby was bouncing all over the bed.
Cut through the texture of pasta, I stretch to the father. My demons can't be stressing my daughter. Sweat beating Hana, know it's a rap. Wet enchilada.
Deion Sanders is the greatest football player, arguably, to ever live. Ed Reed, the greatest safety, arguably, to ever live in the entire universe. All right? Why y'all not going on live? Miami been trashed for fucking how long now? God damn.
I like you got on some skates here. I like you got on some skates here. I like you got on some skates.
I want somebody in the event, something like, say like, I love oxtail. If I can eat some that tastes like oxtails while I'm down there, just for that moment.
He's on my back. You know what I mean? And, I think, I feel like his thing is like on my on my neck.
I've had two guys.
Same time?
No, I'm not that girl.
Man,
the best motherfucking podcast in Orlando, Florida.
You already know.
We
the
appreciate
Sunshine
it.
State, man.
Welcome back. You guys are back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right.
Hey, like, subscribe, share that bitch.
I'm trying to tell you.
Comment too. We'll engage with comments.
Mm-hmm. My mic was loud. Is all I do.
Blow an eardrum.
Shout out to our. I never give a shout out to our Canadian editor, man. We got two editors. Shout out to Chris here in Orlando. You know what I mean, West Orlando. Shout them out. And then we got our editor also in Canada, man, who made that.
What city in Canada? Do we know?
Ontario, I believe.
Ontario.
Okay. Yeah. He made that trailer for us. at a dirt cheap price. I appreciate
You
that.
know what I'm saying? Got to outsource and build with your people over there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You can't just stay here in Orlando and Florida. People can do stuff all over the world, man.
That's right.
Shout out to Big Man. He caught me talking trash about Miami Hurricanes, man. He played football for Miami Hurricanes. I don't mean to do that to you. I like you as a player. You know what I mean?
You're my favorite Hurricane.
You're my favorite Hurricane ever.
After Ed Reed.
Oh, fuck Ed Reed. All right, we got a good show for you guys there as always. We're gonna be talking about some Diddy. Ice Cube is offering a shitload of money. All right, to Caitlin Clark. KD and the Suns and a couple other teams, they're in trouble. All right. NBA gambling scandals are going on. And then we have Marvylus on the show.
Hey.
Artist, entertainer, all of that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
We'll get into what he has going on, and he going to help us tackle these topics here. And we also have TP in the building who just missed the basketball, man. He has these basketball tournaments, these basketball leagues, all of this good stuff with THP. All right,
He's
and
got
we're
a
going to get into
fry
that.
over there too.
You can smell the fries way over here.
I know.
With that Polynesian sauce. No, that's Chick-fil-A. I'm tripping. All right. Before we get into the actual show today, I wanted to get into something I was thinking about, man.
Bubba's thoughts.
What you think about, man?
You know, I may be breaking code here, man, but I never been a bros over hoes type of guy, man.
I'm not surprised.
What you mean?
I never been a bros over hoes type of guy. Like, even back in the day when that was like, I don't know, I feel like my era kind of bought that term in. I don't know. I feel like my era kind of ushered that term in.
I felt that pre-existed you.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
And or maybe we made it hot. I don't know. But I never
Maybe
like.
you think. That.
Yeah, but let me tell you, my era
we
is known for
invented
everything.
fire too.
You know what I mean?
What do you mean by
like
what do you mean?
Like just almost basically with everything, man. Like just picking choosing your homeboys over your girl, whether it's the chill, the hangout, whether it's they word, or if it's somebody's, whether it's your girl saying something, you got your homeboy saying something different, all type of different lanes that can go in.
I can respect it. I was gonna say I wouldn't consider my girl a hoe, so it'd be like my girl over bros, only because like I see what you mean, that divinity between you and your female and stuff. Yeah. But I would also argue and say
over romantic leaf.
Yeah.
Like bros over hoes, I just think there's a lot of elements to it. But like, so I think like, okay, so if one of your bros is smashing somebody on the side, you're not gonna go run to his hoe, are you?
No.
Well, that's a bros over hoes thing.
That's a element. That is.
Or if you're with your dog for like 13 plus years, 14 plus years, and you met this girl and you're about a month in, and you're prioritizing decisions over her, and you don't even really know how she gets down in a real situation, but you've known your bro for 14 years, so it's like I can't necessarily agree in that situation because you don't know this female over a can of paint.
So y'all throwing rocks at my bros over hoes.
I just think
the queen over the bros. I can dig that.
I'm just more like it's all situational.
Yeah.
Like it just depends on what's going down, and it may depend on the quality of your hoe. Quite literally.
Yeah. If she uses all her holes, man, you might need to pick her over the homie. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, you got to choose wisely. I'm not a big fan of making broad statements when you don't have to.
Yeah.
Don't box yourself in.
No.
Don't build your own coffin, Bubba.
I don't know. I understand those couple of scenarios. You know what I mean?
Well, when you're having this thought, like what is the scenario that you're envisioning that makes you feel like?
No,
okay.
it was a conversation with Eb, who was actually just commenting. And she sent me some clip. They have these skits that they do and they share it on social media or whatever. And that particular skit, which I couldn't even tell you what the details were, but I was like, my comment to her was, I've never been a big bros over hoes type guy. But a lot of women, you know this, especially the ones that are on the dating scene or whatever. Some of their biggest complaints are like the guys that they date want to hang out with their homeboys all the time, want to be around them all the time. That's one of their complaints.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of gay if you put it that way. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, that's kind of G.
Gay, but I mean, it's just.
Well, when you put it that way,
but that's what it leads to. Because I tell you, a lot of single women, they're complaint, but they turn into a joke. But I don't know. Sometimes feels they're halfway serious. Like, oh, all of these men are basically gay because they don't want to. Yeah, they want to hang out with me.
But see, it's funny that you say that because you've been on the other side of this argument.
Of what?
Like you've been as far as if you just want like good conversation and things like that, you'd rather be hanging out with the guys, talking whatever, than to be talking to a woman.
Yeah, the particular women that I had been dating at the time. Yeah,
you changed the leaf though.
It depends.
You found some interesting hosts to talk to. Shout out to Bubba. He's upgraded. All you ladies in the past, you should feel some kind of way.
I did not say that.
Bubba said y'all wasn't worth it.
Rose, I did not say that. But listen,
naming names today. I think it's just. I think it's circumstantial. I also am though, like, to me, like when you reach a certain level of like adulthood, you kind of should be moving alone. Yeah. Like it's not. I mean, there should be time where you spend with your guys, and then if there should be time you spend with women. It's like, but you're your own person. Like anybody that's like, I'd say over 30 and like dependent on like what their friends are doing.
Yeah.
You're kind of not in a good place in life. I don't think.
Oh, I got you.
I would say if it's the end of the world, though, you can't rely on your bro to reproduce. So, like,
who's putting that burden on you?
I'm picking hoes.
Yeah, all right.
That I always thought that line was so crazy. I love Afro beats too, and Tim's had that line where she was like, if the world was ending, would you cry? Would you come and get me? I was like, that's like, that's too much. You're asking too much of me.
To come get it? rather just cry?
No, I mean, yeah, if those are the only two choices, but it's a lot more. Like, I'm trying to hunt down my family. Maybe it's this, maybe it's another chick I just
prefer?
The world is ending. Like, what we going to do?
One last nut.
Let me smash. Like,
Yeah.
the world is ending. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but family first, it's just a lot. That's too asking too much of me.
Yeah, spending the
ending,
last 24 hours.
You know what I'm
on a.
You get a full 24. Like,
Ooh.
who knows, man?
Yeah. But
Yeah, you want to spend that with the people that deserve it.
I want to be realistic too. I'm not. I can't literally fuck all 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need rest. I'm gonna need space in between.
I mean, it'll be a weird 24 hours, but my family gonna see me do some shit, But I can still. You could technically get it all done. All in one room. That'd be crazy.
Smashing.
Yeah, the family gonna be busy.
A family orgy, end of the world.
We
God.
go there. I mean,
Wow.
everybody, we're getting the family together. Bring somebody you want to smash. We'll get through this.
We'll get through it. No, that's terrible.
That's horrible.
Let's get into this Diddy thing, man.
Speaking of horrible.
Yeah, speaking of horrible.
Oh man, horrible.
It's been a lot of like different updates, but I haven't seen anything like, hey, Diddy's been picked up and charged and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean the last video I saw, he was like walking around at the airport down there in South Florida.
Oh, looking sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah, he looking sick.
But it's been a lot of people around him that's been implicated. You know what I mean? And we talked about off air the Young Miami with the pink cocaine that's saying that she was a drug mule for him.
And if somebody knows something about
player.
that, like put that in the comments. What is pink cocaine? I'm curious. So drop that in the comments if you know.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. Yeah, I mean, like all sorts of people are being implicated for all sorts of stuff. So, and then there's that.
Kobe says it's Molly.
Oh, okay.
There you
So
go.
we were talking though the other night though that like there's people out there. There's like murmurings that like Jay-Z's gonna be next in this sort of everything everything comes down on you, or Justin Bieber might be next in this, and it's like, who the hell knows? I'm kind of at the point now though where like, if this is really like, if this behavior is the gateway to success in entertainment, I'm all for blowing it up.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna Jeffrey Epstein him? Like they're trying to?
They should. Why not? Yeah.
Realistically,
If
it's like scapegoat status.
No, I'm saying if like, okay, so one way to look at this is Diddy's behavior. It's not isolated. It's like this whole thing that you hear, like casting couches, Harvey Weinstein. It's almost like this narrative that if you want to advance, kind of like Cat Williams was saying, if you want to advance your career in Hollywood, in the entertainment industry, you do weird sexual shit at the behest of others.
Mm.
If that's really the real deal, I'm all for blowing it up. Dig as far as you need to, get these people under the jail, and blow the whole industry up if you have to. Start from scratch.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I would say, what if it's at the
It's not gonna, but like what whatever. I mean, just It's,
But you're all for like plucking these big name guys out that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
If it is Diddy, if it is Jay-Z, if it is whatever,
it's whoever, man,
if it's
yeah.
whoever, Epstein, all these guys. I understand that point, and I'm with that. But my thing is, what's crazy because I'm reading these articles that saying like even if Diddy is innocent, like he's already screwed. Like,
I think we're past that.
You're past whether he's innocent or guilty.
Yeah, he's guilty.
Of what though?
Of all sorts of shit.
Because maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't run like these sex trafficking things, but maybe he was running drugs. That might be believable. Then what? Is all of this worth what he's going through for that?
You're not okay. But what are we saying he's doing? I think you look at the totality of this and say, this is a guy that elevated to a position of power, and he basically created this area of drugs and sexual abuse and mistreatment of people. And is he guilty of that? I think 100% certainty. He wouldn't be behaving as he is if he was innocent. But then you say, okay, well, how do we? I mean, and this is always the issue. How do you prosecute somebody? Because when you prosecute somebody, you have to charge them with a specific crime, and those crimes have specific elements that need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That becomes a challenge because now you're relying, do you have enough evidence to prove a specific charge beyond a reasonable doubt, or prove multiple charges beyond a reasonable doubt, and each charge has its elements. I've like recently had this thing with like, we hear the term sex trafficking, and for me, like, to be honest, like, I envision sex trafficking as that movie where you're like literally like just taking kids off the street,
I'm gonna find
them
you
under
I'm gonna get you.
taken, or well, now there's another one. It was like based on a real guy. Like Sounds of Freedom or something, and it's just like they have all these crazy pretexts where they're getting these kids in, all over the world, like in shitty neighborhoods and financially distressed situations, low socioeconomic things, and they're literally like, taking these kids and they're shipping them here and selling them there and putting them on islands and hotels to be sexually abused by adults. Like, that's the way I envision sex trafficking. I have a hard time connecting it to, and I'm not saying that an of-age person cannot be raped or sexually assaulted. Not saying that. I just, when you hear sex trafficking to me, I'm thinking you're like literally like kidnapping and absconding with people and putting them in horrible situations. But like when you're talking about essentially, adults who could conceivably consent to activities, I don't know that I'm comfortable defining that as sex trafficking. I'm more content with, okay, this may have been a sexual assault at some point, or this may have gotten to a rape at some point, but the whole sex trafficking. But again, what is the sex trafficking? What are the elements of that would have to be proven for him to be found guilty?
What you think, Mar? You think it's too
Man, no, I was peeping. Hey, I was listening to Pinky, man. He was hitting that. But I could say, when I look at it, I'm just gonna look at it like this. Let's look at it like this. Because I'd be asking myself, like, okay, would you sell your soul? Would you sign a contract? Like, some people, especially coming from like a black man in a impoverished neighborhood where people are dying every fucking day, you won't even hesitate to think like, okay, I get to be immune, rich, and famous, and have all these benefits for 20. Let's just say 20. Say I signed it at 25. By the time I'm 50, it's like you're guaranteed to have to be sacrificed as a lamb, as far as for, you know what I'm saying? It'd be the scapegoat. You know what I'm trying to say? And I can look at it like this year's crazy because you got Cat Williams exposing shit. You got that Nickelodeon Drake off of Drake and Josh just came out with that.
That's a new thing.
Yeah. He's talking about what's going on with Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider came out with his interview.
I don't like. So Dan Schneider is like he's like what the producer of those one of those Nickelodeon
he used to
shows?
do all the ones like Zoe 101,
Okay.
all the ones with the little kids. And
Okay.
all
So
the
he
ones
was
that
like the producer of all that. and
yeah,
then he was
bunch of
had
eerie
access to
photos of
these
them
things.
sitting in his lap and
Gotcha,
like
gotcha,
very
okay.
alluding stuff. And he even came out with an interview to kind of, you can tell like when the subpoena comes, he already trying to set up. So I look at it like right now, like whether Diddy's guilty or not, or if he's a scapegoat or not, which I'm sure he is, because if you're in that position, you already know what's coming. You might as well like enjoy the trip at that point on some inevitability. You might as well. And you remember when P. Diddy was going crazy on the Joker on the Halloween? He was channeling whatever deity. You know what I'm saying? So he's a real sick. These are like satanic motherfuckers that are doing rituals. And so when I look at it through that perspective, this year is just one of them years of expose. I don't know exactly what the end goal is, if it's distracting us, because it's 2024. I'm sure they're gonna hit us with all the buttons. We got an election coming up, so I don't necessarily know what their end goal is, but I can definitely, what happens in the light, or what happens in the dark comes to light. And like, as someone who's spiritual and it gets religious at that point, it's only pointing signs to like, oh, this is end times, second coming of Jesus level. You know, we got AI ushering in. It's all getting crazy right in front of us. But when you really look at the P. Diddy thing specifically, though, yeah, it's just believable. I think it's ritualistic. I think he's seen it coming. Just like with Andrew Tate, it's like what they'll do is they'll assassinate your character publicly and create that atmosphere first, just to have the masses thinking that you guilty, even if you weren't guilty. Then they'll try you in court.
Well, Andrew was guilty of smashing the buff white guy. I mean, he got caught red-handed. He didn't see that coming.
Wait, what
Not Andrew.
Whoa.
I was thinking about the other Andrew, not
Yeah.
Andrew Tate. I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
yeah.
What
I'm
Andrew?
tripping.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew, the FAMU Andrew. The political,
Gillum.
Gillum,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Okay.
I was like,
Not
no.
Andrew Tate.
No.
I'm tripping.
I got
But
you,
listen,
I got you.
on the Diddy thing, too, it's like I thought the man was fucking rich by now. Like, not to say that any time is so good for fucking having people be drug mules and they saying something, whatever. But it's like, damn, don't you have enough money now? I mean, do you have to still be doing this stuff,
Well,
or
what-
is this
so-
from 20 years ago, or is this something he was actively doing now?
Well, what? Okay, so what is the drug mule thing? I mean, what again? Like, what are we talking about? Because it's okay if a guy has.
Well,
a
that's more
life-
plain. That's more plain than the
Well, no,
sex trafficking stuff.
what I'm saying is this: if a guy has a lifestyle where he entertains a lot of people, and cocaine and Molly are all a part of that scene, are you basically acquiring drugs for your benefit? Or are you trafficking drugs to others like your Carlos?
Yeah, it's too many. It's for financial gain, because I don't care how big your fucking party is. If you have a party, you can obtain enough cocaine for your party throughout, for whatever days that you're doing the parties. He's utilizing people. He had the one basketball player allegedly, and all these people that they're naming that were
Right.
drug mules that were basically used for getting drugs from another country and bringing it here. And it has to be for financial gain. Now, we don't know that for sure.
Well, see, okay, that's what I'm not sure about, because I mean, we've always had the notion of like, when we see a guy get like a high-profile guy get like busted for possession or something like that, you're like, well, why the hell are you carrying this stuff? You should have somebody do that. And so my initial take,
But some of these
mule
other
thing,
people,
my initial take on the mule thing was like, maybe Diddy's actually smart enough to have other people bring the drugs to wherever he wants them to be, and so he's never in transit with drugs.
Because I just,
Kingpin status.
the quantities are so large to where it's just.
But what are the quantities? Because I haven't heard that part.
Well, only because it's so many people. It's not. I haven't seen like a fucking number as far as the amount or anything. But it's just so many people. It's and so many times that they've been implemented of doing these things, doing these trips and making trips. It's just not enough cocaine parties to fulfill that. It has to be for financial gain. That's the only way it would make sense.
Well, I heard a story on a podcast that like at his house, like he had like the staff, and the staff were basically instructed to wear fanny packs at all times with the drugs in them. So that anybody in the house that needed a drug, you just go to like, the maid, the cook or whatever and say, hey man, I need some stuff. And it was available to you. So who the hell knows?
If that is the case, then is he guilty of what?
Well, I don't know. Like that's kind of what I'm not sure, because we have this massive pile of bad behavior. How is it going to be broken down, like I was saying, into actual criminal charges?
Well, my point is, because you're saying he's guilty, it's because it's too many clouds.
He's guilty of being a piece of shit. Now, what we can prove in court, I don't know.
Piece of shit? How though? No, I'm not being dumb. That's a serious question.
I do think that he has sexually abused people for his own gain and use that as leverage over people, which I'm not comfortable with somebody doing that.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's doing that, I'm okay with you losing your finances, your freedom if it gets
as a
that
person
bad.
of power and status.
Yeah, if you're basically leveraging people, and then the drug thing, I'm not really sympathetic on drugs. Like if you choose to do drugs, I hope it goes badly for you personally. That's just my thing. And, cocaine or whatever is against the law. So if you're in possession of it, technically you committed a crime. If you've transported over state lines or you actually have distributed like you think it might be going on, then that's a crime and you should be prosecuted for that. It is what it is. But this is not a guy I think that is, I just look at it, I think he's just done a lot of horrible shit.
Yeah.
I heard a story today. It was one of those dudes. He's I forget, like he's like a media guy, and he was telling a story that, and it was a lot like the Columbus short story. He was saying that he knew Diddy like personally. He asked Diddy to get his nephew an internship. His nephew or Diddy's like, sure.
Yeah, I saw that story.
And then he's like, a couple months into it, he's like, hey, I want you to stay the night with me or the internship's over. Like, that's just fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, that's just horrible.
Yeah, and then when you think about, they're saying that all these other people that may be implicated down the line, Jay-Z or Justin Bieber or whatever. The thing is, like, all of these people who have been around Diddy for so long, like, they if there was anything going on, they saw it. Like, it's almost like the R. Kelly thing, like, the people that were around him, that you're seeing this stuff every day.
Well, you know what it's like? It's like Penn State football. You had that Jerry Sandusky, who was like the defensive coordinator there for 25 years with Joe Paterno the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say that Joe Paterno knew nothing, like had zero suspicions about this guy over 20 plus years.
And he was molesting boys.
Molesting boys, yeah. And like all sorts of weird stuff. Like you knew nothing? Yeah. I mean, come on. It's just not believable. At that point,
it's just not. It's just not.
I mean, at some point, and the criminal justice system doesn't always work this way, but at some point, common sense has to come into play. Like, how do humans behave? How do they interact? And if you're around somebody, how long can they kind of hide something from you and you have no clue?
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. And like the reality is, like there have been weird stories about him circulating for many, many, many years. This is not like the first time something strange has happened. And I tend to believe, like, I mean, to me, all of these people, like Michael Jackson, there was stories until whatever. R. Kelly, there was stories, and then whatever. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think that that's a human thing. Like, we can't hide who we are all the time. You can hide it, here or there, but when the body of work is long enough, you can't hide what you are. And if you like little boys or you like cocaine or you like young girls or whatever, like it's gonna come to light.
Yeah. No, that's facts. That's facts.
Karma, yo.
Yeah. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right, Marvylus here. What's going on, my man?
Yo, what's good with it? What's good with it, Bubba?
All right, now, so what you been working on? Lately?
I appreciate you asking, and you know what I'm saying. Everybody that's watching me right now, all my followers, y'all get on the bench, yo. I'm trying to tell y'all that's where it's at.
Yes,
so
sir.
I just came back from South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. You know what I'm saying? That's like the biggest. You guys know what South by Southwest is?
Yeah,
I've heard.
Yeah. So went over there tapped in with tapped in with the youth. You know what I'm saying? Performed and raged out with them. Went on a little media run. You know what I'm saying? Tapped in with like 4 or 5 podcasts. And then just got into the mix in the streets and got with all the celebrities and shit. Then I linked with my big bro Kirko Bangs, drinking my cup.
Yeah.
Linked with him while I was out there. I went on tour with him several times.
Yeah, he's from Texas.
Yeah. They be booking him and shit out there. I ran into way too many celebrities, man. It was a spiritual experience, spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying?
Into Diddy out there?
Nah, man. He was
preoccupied.
Yeah. No, but when I went out there, yeah, man, we like I said, I just tapped in with the city. Ended up doing some mic drops and shit like that. And like I said, right now I'm pushing this song. It's featuring Swizzy B, Loud Life Crew, and it's gonna be my first song that I distribute through. We just recently established Forever Loud with Empire Distribution. You know what I'm trying to say? It's actually a real big deal, real big goal of ours. We were trying to do this for a long time, but we finally are at the point where like, yeah, we got to get in the mix. So now we're starting to work and build on that. So I'll be releasing Step in April. I haven't dropped the official date, but I'm working that out right now. But so right now I'm just kind of going on my little run with that. We're letting that roll out. But yeah, and then I've been out here in Orlando for about 2 years.
Coming from where?
Coming from Colorado, so I'm a Colorado artist, right? Yeah, I'm not even really an Orlando nigga at all type shit. So I tapped in with y'all just on some. I've been out here for 2 years, building with, you know what I'm saying? Like I've done shows at Tier Nightclub. I know all the promoters like Tony Cool, Mello, all them and stuff. So yeah, been in the mix, building out here, building in my state, building all over my little hubs I have out in the U.S.
Yeah.
And then in 2020 we took a trip to Europe. I went to Amsterdam, London, and Paris for a tour. So, you know, I've just been busy and just trying to follow up with all that. You know what I'm trying to say? My birthday next month. I'm an Aries, April 12th. But that's kind of what I got going on.
Birthday, that's crazy.
Wait, what?
Your birthday's April 12th?
Yeah, my birthday's April 12th.
Nah,
Yeah.
you lying.
Nah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's
For real?
crazy. Yeah.
Not the 12th, though.
The 12th.
Yo, that's crazy. I swear I ain't
Few
playing
decades,
that shit.
yeah.
Damn, for real, we got to take a shot, brother.
Yeah,
You feel me?
for
Hey,
sure, for
you know what
sure.
I'm saying? That's what's up. Yo, I had
Now
no
you-
idea.
Now you coming from Colorado, you know, a lot of guys, especially before the weed started getting legal elsewhere. You know, they were taking trips to Colorado because that was one of the few places you can go and
plug
smoke.
yourself.
So like, was there a difference? Do you smoke? And was
Absolutely.
So was there a difference, like when you would go to different areas or when you moved down here? Like, did you have to move differently or not?
Oh yeah. So the one thing I learned about Florida that's different than Colorado is like, so in Florida, you guys throw quotations over shit like, we're not allowed to smoke in the club, and go in the club, we're all smoking in the fucking club.
Exactly.
I went to Tampa and did this festival with Smoked Out, and they were like, oh, there's no drinks available to buy, you know what I'm saying? I go to the tent, the guy got it for the $5 on the low and shit, you know what I'm saying? So like, when it came to like Florida, it was just that type of culture.
That's exactly how
You know what I'm trying to say? Moving that in Colorado, it's like, because they are legal, they will regulate and be like, oh, well, no, we're not allowed to do it inside because we have to be extra strict. It's like, we're already letting you guys do it legally.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I'm trying to say? But they have like little, it's the culture's building, man. They just legalize mushrooms or decriminalize mushrooms out there. It's gonna be like an Amsterdam type setting.
In Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that just happened out there, and like
sure Aaron
they're
Rodgers got his estate out there.
So, all right, so like,
yeah.
in Colorado, if you want to smoke, like, you don't need any sort of medical card.
Different areas. So I'm from Southside Colorado Springs. That's about an hour away from Denver, and then you got Pueblo. So like, Springs is medical. They got like this weed church you can pull up to, and I'm religiously smoking. It's like it's kind of hush hush in that sense, but it's actually, they haven't quite legalized the legal part. So you would have to go an hour out to Denver or an hour out to Pueblo. Once you cross that line, there's the Maggie's Farm, which is like, you just walk in with your ID, you know what I'm saying, and just like you buy beer at the store, just like that.
But then there may be like certain areas or buildings that you're not allowed to smoke in.
Yeah. Like the club, they'll have either designated, like if a weed club or an edible, they'll have the areas you can. I'm just saying, like in Florida, I'll be in the club smoking, in Colorado they'll probably walk my shit down and like I don't know why they just gotta regulate because it's legal. I don't know. They don't want they don't want to get the privilege taken from us, so they gotta prove that it's like they can be responsible with it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, we're giving you guys a lot of rope. We're not gonna let you hang yourself with it.
Yeah, but they got like, for example, like they'll have like you can't legally buy it, like in Springs you can't buy it, but they had like a little loophole. There was a little church up the road where you donate and then you get points, and then you can cash out your points through, it's just like an extra step in between and shit. And you got to sign a paper saying, like, this is religion, you feel me, religion, whoop-de-wop-wop-de-whoop.
I'm always amused by the people that, like, work out these loopholes. Yeah. Like, who's the guy? Okay, here's what we're going to do. I've got an idea.
Yeah, but no, I've been on the road for the last, like, since 2017. I linked up, shout out Swizzy B. Linked up with Swizzy B out there. We did a real cold run, like, just evolving from local rapper to leaving the Crab Barrel, you know what I'm trying to say, out here in Florida, which is even bigger Crab Barrel, but it's not my Crab Barrel, so there's no I'm not competing to get up out of here. I need to get up in here because the market out there and the culture for rap out there isn't as big. Like, they'll bring a lot of mainstream, like if you hear it on the radio. It's like if it gets popping on the coast, it's like a wave. It takes a little bit to get to the Midwest. By the time it gets to the Midwest, Glorilla already got a fucking Grammy and shit, so her booking price is way more, and it's just like kind of like that.
You talking about bringing them to Colorado?
Yeah, so like breaking.
It isn't like there's the biggest. This is a question. I'm not telling you. Yeah. But is the biggest type of rap out there? Is it like the alternative rap?
That's
like
exact.
Juice WRLD?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even consider Juice WRLD alternative, but I would say absolute. They support independent and like. And why alternative? I'm talking like, have you guys ever heard of Tech Nine, the Rap Fast? Like,
Tech Nine.
You know what I'm saying? They like, so like, West Coast has a sound. Texas got like the chopped and screwed. Florida's got their own sound. New York's got their own sound. Like, if I were to really try to, like, unfortunately, because I don't like it, because I think it's kind of corny, but if Midwest were to have a sound, it would be fast pace rap. You know what I'm saying? They love Eminem over there. But no, they definitely support like that, like Hopsin, like those weird, like you kind of feel weird playing it, like you don't feel cool playing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing about Orlando is like, but the dynamic of that is because those fans do that, it's like a more quality of a fan over quantity of a fan. So like out here in Orlando, niggas will just be too cool. Even if you are killing that shit, they won't give you. They just won't give it to you or give it up to you. And then when you get off stage, they'll tell you, so, oh, bro, you slid that shit. Whoop, you won't give you respect. Out there, they're submitting to you, going crazy, crowd serve. Okay. So that's why, I don't want to talk shit because I'm from there and shit. That is what they are on, though, and that. Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Where did you kind of draw your inspirations in creating your style?
So me personally, I grew up, like my mama put me on like UGK, Tupac growing up, but then me being a part of Colorado, I did get exposed to Tech Nine. My sister put me on like Slipknot and shit like that. So like, and then my pops would listen to like oldies and shit, just the classic shit. So like, me personally, what really inspired, like really got me, like, so I made my first beat on a big ass prehistoric computer when I was like 12 years old, 7th grade and shit. And then I started freestyling at 13, and from 13 to 18, I didn't actually put out music. I was just the guy who could freestyle type looking ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? And so, boom, I finally fucking recorded my first song and started taking it serious at like 21. At 19 I recorded, or 18 I recorded my first song, and then started taking it serious. But long story short, what inspired me and like got me on there was actually Denzel Curry, low key.
Oh, Denzel Curry.
Yeah. We was fucking with like the 666 radio, Space Ghost Perp type shit. That's what I was listening to in high school. That was like really like that shit's fire as fuck. You know what I'm trying to say? So when I was originally starting to make my music, that's what I was bumping and influenced by. So I'm sure that had something to do with the way it sound. But like I said, I started making my own beats because I'm sick and tired. When you guys ever pull up to a show, I don't know, I'm sure you guys heard it, but it's like you hear the same beat. It's like a different artist, but it's the same beat. And it's like, damn, of all the millions of beats on YouTube and y'all's algorithm keeps feeding y'all the same ones and all y'all hopping on the same shit. It's just kind of corny. So and then on the business end, you get to own more of the monetization when you make your own beats. So I just started making my own beats and really honing down on that because I just want to be original. I always looked up to like how Kanye will start from scratch and shit like that. And like, so anything you guys hear of me, just know I made that shit like
No,
from the
what's up.
breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Is it how hard do you think it is to break into those particular I want to say fan bases, but like those areas like Denzel, you got Denzel Curry, you have I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but the guy who signed to Lil Wayne Cash Money first, he's like one of the first artists on there.
Drake or Tyga?
No, one of the first, like before them.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm talking about? And he has his own. Who I'm talking about, TP? The artist that was signed to Lil Wayne and Cash Money, like back in the day, before Tyga, before Nicki, Drake, and then he went solo. He went
Mac Man?
No, Mac's still there. And then he went, you know what I'm talking about? What a cash.
Oh, you talking about Currency, bro?
Currency.
Bro, I fuck with Jet Life Currency. I spit it. Yeah. I was probably going to show them.
Yeah, so you understand what I'm saying? Like Currency, Denzel, like those guys, they're not mainstream artists at all, but they still have huge fucking followings.
Yeah.
How do you think? Because when I listen to your music, that's what I hear. Like if your best case scenario is building something like that to where you have these fans that's just gonna be diehard, come to the shows, buy your stuff, buy your merchandise.
Man,
how hard is it to break into that?
Man, it is. You gotta have a team and a focus. I would say like specifically Currency. He'll get like the byproduct. It's like once you rub your shoulders with enough legendary tier motherfuckers, it's like the byproduct of that is you'll have like those weird fan bases that'll stick with you like that. You can still exist in this nice little Goldilocks zone where it's not too. You're not popping like that, but you're still getting all the placements. He's the
godfather for that for sure. But yeah.
Yeah. So I would say like it's very, because if it was like I'm currently, you feel me, building it right now, so it's just through trial and error. I don't got no like. I'm still independent. We just got the Empire distribution, which y'all know who's do distribution through them, right? Like Young Dolph's been on there, King Von's been on there, XXXTentacion's been on there. Okay. Rest in peace, PNB Rock was on there.
Yeah.
Mo 3 was on there.
Some big artists.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Huge artists, huh?
A lot of dead guys.
Yeah, and so like speaking of the P Diddy, and so that's where it really gets sick. I don't want to talk about Empire like that, but as somebody who's dealing with, you feel me, we're dealing with all the energies that come with building and going further in this shit. You can only imagine how the devil will present himself, and it'll come in the form of opportunities or the money or the bitches or all that type of shit and the power and all that. So like, you know, that's food for thought, because you don't want to go into that shit blind and unknowing, and then you're just sitting there signing up, and the next thing you know, you're getting used to push an agenda, and the next thing you know, you like cocaine bitches and all this, and it's all gonna get used against you in court and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oops, like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Are you running into a lot of Orlando bitches these days?
Oh, love them. Love y'all.
I'm
just kidding.
Bitches?
No, I'm just kidding. I got a girl.
Okay.
I got a girl.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But prior to that, loved them.
How did you pick Orlando as a place you're gonna come?
So the story is, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into details, but some traumatic shit happened to me in 2020, life-threatening shit, and that shit was just like, fuck with me out there, and like my manhood got put on the line. So like, because I'm from Colorado's a nice place. Like, don't get it twisted, it's a military state, but like that shit, you feel me? Got on some messy shit down there. For me personally, I was in the wrong place, wrong time, right place, right time. Like one of those type of situations. But long story short, once that hit, it was like my mental health just completely went down, because it was like all the work I put in up to that point. People are starting to recognize me. Like, I'll go to the gas, like, I'm going everywhere. People are starting to see me in my little ass city. But it was at a time where I didn't want nobody to recognize my face because of trust and all sorts of other little fuck shit. So Swizzy, who I met out there, shout out Swizzy, me and him, he had left Colorado back to Orlando. He's from Orlando out here. So me and him were building out there. He went out here, and that was pretty much my extension right there. He's like, hey, man, you need to leave that shit, because he looks at me as like, outside of the homie and as outside of like I care about him as a friend, I'm one of his artists he invests in, so I'm like an asset. So he's like, I can't be having your shit. I've put all this investment in you. I can't be having your shit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to come out over here so we can do the business and shit.
Protect the investment.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the bottom line of what kind of went down, and then, you know, everything happens for a reason. It was one of those things.
That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
One of them spiritual stories.
What are you currently working on now? You got any shows coming up?
Yeah. So the next show so Swizzy's actually hopping on the plane right now. Y'all go pull up on him. Boise, Idaho. He's gonna be there. My next show that I'm gonna end up doing, I'm going to San Antonio, April 6th. I still might go to Boise, y'all. Y'all just wait. Y'all let me check my schedule. I'm probably gonna pull up. Sold out show this Friday. But next one is gonna be San Antonio, April 6th at Paper Tiger. That's gonna be the next show I'm working on right now. We're working on festivals and these international dates just to keep building. And we've done enough of the smaller microscopic ones. Now it's time to get in front of the really just the quality over quantity. You know what I'm trying to say? We want to get into more bigger ones and the international ones. But yeah, we have a lot coming up. Specifically, if y'all want to check out our show dates, go to loudlifecrew.com/tour. But yeah. My specific, I would have to look at my schedule, but I know my next one for sure, San Antonio, Paper Tiger. I'm in there.
And then where can they find you? Like on social media?
Oh, yeah. So you make sure y'all go to my website, marvylus.com, MARVYLUS. I got merch if y'all want to support the boy, all my music up there. And you can type in that on Google, Instagram, Twitch, MARVYLUS, everywhere to come check me out. I appreciate Bubba, you feel me, for having me and shit.
For sure.
But yeah. Loudlifecrew.com, Forever Loud, we in the building. And yeah, that's what's going on. And Step coming out featuring Swizzy V.
Yeah, and let me know when you put that out, because you sent it to me.
Yeah,
but I want to play it once you put it out and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Technically, I can only play stuff that's on YouTube.
I got you. Don't worry about it. Yeah. We'll run it like that. Yeah. We'll run it like that.
I went on your page, your YouTube page. I didn't see it.
Yeah. It was on. I sent you some unreleased.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I got my own.
Like it, though.
My first project going Forever Out. I'm in the works with that. Y'all can just check out the snippets, man. Right now, it's just a work in progress. I don't really want to shine too much light on it, but I definitely, you know what I'm saying. Y'all can check me out. And that's what's going on.
You got good energy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
so I want to see where you go, man. I want to see where you go.
No, I appreciate you.
So keep us in tune, man.
Sure, man.
All right,
appreciate
keep us in tune and hit us up, man.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna swap you out for TP.
Yes, sir.
And get to it, man. Appreciate you for coming through.
Appreciate y'all pull up.
All right. While we getting that switched over there, I want to make sure you guys know about Royal13thebrand.com. Again, that is Royal13thebrand.com. Use promo code Bubba Pink, and you'll be fresh here in the spring while we heading into the summer. All right. Yeah, man. That was good.
That was.
I liked it. Yeah, for sure.
If you ever drop something, just add me as a collaborator.
All right.
And it'll share on both our pages.
If
you don't know how to do it, I'll show you.
The clips. Yeah, we'll do the clips.
Yeah. But I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
for real,
appreciate
though,
you.
man.
You already know,
It was a
man.
blessing. I'll let everybody
Take
know.
it easy.
If y'all looking for more little guests and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Definitely.
I'll get with you now.
All
right. Oh, man, you getting old here, man.
Nah, I had a game tonight, man.
Oh, you had a game tonight?
Yeah, with JCC.
The JCC,
Okay.
the Maitland one.
Yeah, the Maitland one. You know, with the old heads.
Who you running with on that league?
I got my boy Eric with me.
This the over 30 league?
35 and up league.
Oh.
Yeah.
Eric
My
who?
boy Eric Ho.
Okay.
He used to be a bartender a lot.
Is this a different season, or is this just the same long ass season?
No, that's a different season.
Okay,
They just
I
run it
was gonna
right
say.
back because they got members and shit. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
It's different with the older guys. Like, I'm starting to realize that, like, the rec league is so tainted. Like, if you want to be 35 and older to play in these other leagues, because they just take care of it better. They just give you, like, just a better, like, you better quality as far as, like, they stop the clock. You know what I'm saying? They make sure if somebody get knocked down. Like, I know that stuff don't mean nothing, but the way guys can play in these rec leagues, like.
So you think that 35 and over rec leagues are just a little bit better as far as quality wise?
Yeah, because, I mean, you got less guys also complaining, too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, guys are just coming to play basketball. They're not coming to, you know, the one over in the Popka is different. Like, that's the one where guys are still trying to go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Guys is, like, doing their thing or whatever. But the 35 and up in Maitland,
I don't
slow.
know. I played in that league for a while at different points, and I mean, there was plenty of old motherfuckers complaining about stuff.
Oh, well,
There
shit,
was
I don't
one
know.
guy, he played in that league. He got thrown out back-to-back weeks, and he used to bring like either his parents or grandparents used to come and watch, and they had to make the walk of shame with him after an ejection.
Damn. Yeah, see, I wasn't around for them guys.
And again, I know we made the abrupt switch there, but this is TP from THP, Tony Howard Project.
Yes, sir.
And so right now we're talking about like men's rec league basketballs. So if anybody don't know, like a lot of lot of men who are not in the NBA or playing college basketball and still has hoop dreams and still love to play. We enter these rec leagues, and they have regular season games, playoffs, championships.
Same shit.
When your man not at the house and he's saying he out playing basketball, it's
he actually might be.
He actually
Same
might be.
shit. Nah, for real.
And so before we get to your rec leagues that you run and tournaments, like when you're speaking about the rec leagues, there is that what's the biggest problem with it? Because like you got a lot of guys that do complain about referees a lot. They complain about
Dickhead Dan.
And complain about just the overall like you said, quality of it. What's some complaints, and can it be fixed? Or like what's the problem?
So I sit back and I watch it from both standpoints, a player standpoint, and I watch it from a standpoint of just like, you know what I'm saying, somebody just watching, you know what I mean, like a fan of the game. I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of the referees and a combination of the players. But I think the biggest problem, when I really, really look at the scope of it, you get a lot of guys that kind of come in feeling like they was somebody or they should have been somebody or something. And those are the entitled guys that kind of start the problem with the complaints on the calls and, man, the ticky-tack hand checks and stuff like that. You got the guys that come from overseas, and I'm talking about this is a build-up over the years. Like guys that come from overseas, they'll join the same rec league and kind of claim it as they own, and hey, I'm back home, so the game got to kind of flow my way. So over the years, you mix those guys with guys that just can't play basketball, that's complaining, you know what I'm saying, constantly on the regular. The referee's just getting tired. That's honestly when I talk to people in the referee circuit, that's all I hear. It's to a point now where a lot of referees don't even want to do men rec leagues no more, because they kind of look at it like, what's the point? I can make more money, with a kid listening to the parent complain, and you're gonna have to deal with that. But the parent only gonna go so far. Now some of these parents are jumping on out there. I seen some shit this weekend that was just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? The big house, but but it's still, you get less, interaction with these players. They younger, they in the gym. They, some of these referees are kind of old. They a little scary, a little skinny, and you do got some that are assholes. Where I'm not gonna condone violence or nothing like that, but I mean, you got some that are definitely like, come on, bro, like you just not even trying to be here, like you just on some. But I think again, that's over time of just, you already know what you're finna get when the game starts. Guys are gonna complain no matter if it's a good game or a bad game. Somebody's gonna find a way to fuck up the vibe. You know what I'm saying? And it just continues from there. So I don't know. It's tough. So
What say you, Pete?
I don't think it's very tough at all. No, I don't. I mean, if you're either good official or you're bad official. A good official is consistently the same. A good official has a level demeanor. A good official will talk to people about calls, about things that are maybe not understood or situations in a respectful way. And then the game all goes better. It's like you get treated how you treat other people. And so if you do, if you communicate well, if you call the game as well as you can, people respect that. And they do fine. Now, there's a couple of unhinged guys in the community that are going to get mad no matter what. And if you've been in this circuit, you know exactly who those guys are. And you can make a decision as a referee how I'm going to deal with that particular guy that is a loose cannon. You might want to throw him out pretty quick. And I'm not going to have an issue with that if a guy acts up. But I'm a big believer that you get back what you give. Mm-hmm. And if you have a defensive attitude, if you want to make a men's reg league game about you as an official, you're not doing the right thing. If you want to just get whatever that check is and you don't really care about what's going on, you don't belong out there. Now, we could say this is not the NBA, this isn't a professional setting, and I get all that. But to the people that are going out and playing, they care. They just want a good officiated game, and they want to play. But I don't think the referees are what's wrong with men's league basketball. Okay. They're a factor, they're a consideration, and there's guys that I don't think should be near basketball. Go do something else.
The players or the
Officials.
referees? Okay, referees.
Well, I'll get to the players in a moment. But that I strongly believe they don't. You're not here for the right reason.
Yeah.
We're all. I mean, I love basketball. I love competing, whether I'm coaching it or playing it or whatever. And when I go and play or to coach or show up to any of these things, I just want it to be good and competitive. I want good players on the floor. I want a decent effort from the officials. I don't. To me, a guy that officiates and is overbearing and makes the game about him, to me, he probably has a shitty life away from the game.
Yeah.
And there's one guy in particular that I feel that strong.
See, but you like it as a hobby as well, so it makes it more like worth the work. Like when you're doing it, it's not work. It's something you love to do.
Right.
Some of these people just pick up part-time jobs.
Yeah,
that's it. They just pick up a part-time. Yeah, they just pick up a part-time job.
If your basketball is something that I'm passionate.
But see, that's why
if
you're
going to be out there and not give a damn, stay home.
No, and I feel that.
We don't need you.
I feel that. But
And
that's
I'm not
because
gonna
we love
respect
basketball, though. That's the main reason. It's because we love basketball. Because to other people, they show up and don't really give two fucks. Like,
Right,
it's
but
because
if you
yeah.
and if you want to say what is the best environment for men's league basketball, it's the same environment for any basketball. You have people in the game that care about it and they're there to do something. You have officials presiding over the game who care about that. You even have people at the scorer's table that care enough to stop a clock or have a score right. And if you don't care enough to do those basic things, get the fuck out of our game. Get the fuck out.
No, I'm not an advocate for the referees, but I will say I think if you're gonna say that, you got to also tell some of these players. Some of these players don't know the game of basketball.
Well,
So,
and let's go to that.
And
who's responsible for bringing these morons out there?
Yeah, I was about to say, because I think that's why these refs don't take on these people individually. They look at it like, hey, get your teammate. Because these are grown-ass men. Like, bro, you showed up to be here. Like, that's how these refs look at it. Like, you paid for this shit. Like, you want this. So I get what you're saying. Like, some of these, they come out the gate like they don't even want to work. But for the ones, there are ones where I see every now and again, like they start out like, look, I'm trying. And then here y'all go with the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? You only got 4 guys. Y'all ain't got no jerseys and all kind. Y'all bullshit it. And then y'all want us to be for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like,
I get what you're getting, and I also know that there's guys in town that are on the playing side that are just loose cannons.
Yeah, facts. We know them.
And whatever. That is what it is. But again, the rec league basketball. So I always think like one of the funny things is like, and I think it happens at Goldenrod every year. There's always going to be a couple teams that are good. Mm-hmm. And brought out quality guys. And then there's always a couple teams that you'd never seen these people before. And you look at them and go, God, you have no idea what you just got into.
Yeah, you aren't
and
some
they're
shit.
just not equipped to compete at the level of the better teams in that league. But that is what it is. People are going to sign up and compete. And my thing is, if you're new to the scene, you bring a team out there and you realize, hey, we're not at the level, whoever's running that team, either decide, hey, we're not going to come back for another season and do this, and that's cool. Or, hey, there's a better level out there. We got to recruit some better players and be in a situation that's competitive. And so that you become a team that competes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As so many of these leagues, the guys, they want to play with their friends, and that's no problem with that. But I think you should look at the level of friends that you have and compare them to the competition in the league, and then decide which league you guys should get into. Because once you get into a competitive league, you have to know what your homeboys are capable of. And once you guys reel off 3 or 4 or 5 20-point losses in a row, like then those guys, they're gonna stop showing up. And that messes up the league for the other teams.
That annoys the shit out of me.
You know what I mean? So
forfeited games.
You have to know this ahead of time. It's not your first rodeo. It's
and I'm giving the like maybe for some of these people. And again, you got to realize some of these people probably play at a single LA Fitness location, and they see the world as we're good here,
and they run
they don't know, and they say, hey, let's sign up for this league, and then when you realize there's no mistake in not knowing, but once you know, now it's on you to adapt or get out. That's my thing. Like, you could have your friends and think you're a little bit better than you are, sign up in one of these leagues, and you get roasted. And now it's on you. Do you come back with a better roster, or do you, just say, hey, man, this ain't our thing. Let's just stay at the Y.
You know what's crazy is I used to be that guy, right? Like, when I look at my journey, the guy who didn't know how to put the team together.
Oh, okay.
Some
would say you still are.
No, you shitting me. You got me fucked up. Let's put my team. I like my team. I like my guys. But no. So one thing I do try and do is keep the element of like a Miami Heat player. Like, just keep raw guys. Maybe get one guy that's kind of got like a name here and there, but you don't really oversaturate the team with, oh, you got him, and him. Yo, I don't like that feeling. I like guys that's just gonna hoop, a guy that's kind of subpar here and there, but he gonna do a lot of dirty work, little shit like that. But I will say you're right, because that's kind of the reason like the GM5 was created, was because back when we did the Rivera Sports shit outside or whatever, I put teams together thinking, okay, I got this cat that can just fucking jump out the goddamn park. You know what I'm saying? I got his homeboy who's like 6'4", and then I got my homeboy who's like a really raw point guard, but he's kind of out of date. He's not really on, but I'm still thinking like, and then somebody's offering me a guy. I'm like, yeah, come on, you can come out with my team. We showing up there, man, got Mike Pellet, all these Chicos out there kicking our ass, running us up and down the court, and I'm like, oh, okay. So because I came from music side, so I didn't get a chance to when I graduated, I didn't get a chance to kind of follow basketball the way I did in high school. I took a break because I went straight into the music, but coming back into it and then starting to get deeper into the tournaments and starting to see the different players. No, you got to recognize and you got to say, okay, look, you got to build a good core, you know what I'm saying? A good 6-7 guys that can just go, and you can rely on them and so on and so forth. Or else you just never going to get a chance to really compete the way you feel like you want to compete, unless, you cool with competing at some of these smaller levels, because basketball is basketball to some people. So I won't ever take that part away.
No, that's true. All right, we got some hot topics to talk about really quick. I want to run through them, and then we're going to circle back around to put up a shut-up tournament and GM5. Sure. And the stuff that THP has going on here, all right? So first here, let's go to this. This news kind of broke today before we got on the show here. And Ice Cube in the Big Three, all right? It was TMZ had actually broke the story that he offered her $5 million to join the Big Three, okay? And, of course, anybody knows Big Three is a 3-on-3 tournament that Ice Cube started a few years ago, primarily all men, and they're old, your past NBA guys. Like, you might see Gilbert Arenas out there, Allen Iverson, guys like that, and they're going out there, and old college players as well, that old famous.
Have they had a woman play yet?
I don't recall them having a woman yet, but I say primarily just because I'm not watching every single Big Three game.
It was my idea with the way this story was presented that this would be the first.
That would be my best guess from the clips and a few games that I have saw. All right, now it's becoming a divide because you have I watched this I watched this former WNBA player on Gilbert Arenas' podcast talk about it, and what she was saying, how she doesn't like it because for a few reasons. Number one, she feels like it's degrading the WNBA. So the Big Three in the WNBA season coincides. They go at the same time. All right. So basically she's saying, Caitlyn is here and we're all rooting for her because we think she can play a part in saving the WNBA. So you think you are promoting women's basketball by putting this out, but actually you're doing a disservice to it, because you're saying, come over here, we're going to pay you 10 times as much money and don't fucking worry about the WNBA. You're killing us.
What I read is that she would be able to do both. That she does not have to, by doing the Big Three deal, she doesn't have to forego being in the WNBA.
That's not 100% true. So as it stands right now, she cannot, because in a WNBA contract, and the audio is, I think we're a little too loud. Or maybe that's just my headphones. I think my headphones
aren't working.
No, I'm good.
You good? You can hear everything?
Yeah, I'm good.
So as it currently stands with the WNBA contract, you cannot play any other like sports, right? It's just like any other
So,
sport.
so on the
Liability.
WNBA contract side, I believe on Ice Cube's side, his offer left the door open for
Flexibility.
her to play in the WNBA.
So what that article may be referencing is she could like restructure her, like she's the fucking
no, I
goat.
think
So
it
she could restructure her WNBA contract to put language in that she could.
Right. So no, the way I read the article is Ice Cube's offer is $5 million to play our 10 games.
Yeah.
And we would not prevent you from playing.
Yeah, of course.
So now, but I like
Yeah.
if the contractual issues on the WNBA side, the ball would be in their court to say, well, we'll modify our standard contract to allow her to do this if we feel that it grows the game.
Exactly. And then as far as the numbers wise, so people can fully know, like the average Big Three person and is making roughly about $5,000 to $8,000 a game. So Gilbert and Kenyon Martin, who have both played in the Big Three, they were saying how like the guys would be, pissed about that because you got this girl coming in and you're paying her $5 million to play 10 games and you're only paying us $5,000 to $8,000. What are we? You know what I mean? And then and saying that it also I thought was funny. They said she wouldn't score a point. I thought that was funny. They went on that for a while. And
well, the thing that you got to think about
in
that
10 games she wouldn't score a point.
Is here's what you're saying. If the players are if she's playing 10 games for $500,000 or $5 million, she's getting $500,000 a game, and these guys are getting $5 or $8K, and so when you're first hearing this, you're like, okay, she'll play. Which means she'll play basketball. Like, if somebody posts up and, the defense rotates, she's open, she gets a look. But if the players are that offended by this, they won't leave her.
Yeah.
Like they could, face guard her or do whatever and make it like really an awkward, miserable thing.
And the Big Three, if you ever watched, it's really physical basketball. But it's what you expect from out of shape NBA guys.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But even though they're older, out of shape NBA guys, they're still, faster, stronger, can jump higher, more athletic than a Caitlin Clark would be. So you have to think about it from that aspect as well.
But you make a great point. It is exceptionally physical because the reality is, as guys lose their athleticism, they're going to rely on their body and their physicality. It's just like an adjustment. We're all older guys now, and we play a lot more physically than we
my
did
fouls
when
are up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Our last rec league game, I got a foul within the first 3 seconds I was in the game. This is what happens. But okay, and to finish the numbers on the WNBA side, rookie coming in, you're looking at about roughly they're saying about 80. What did they say? About 80,000?
Yeah,
about 80,000.
Yeah.
About 80,000. And so I know you said it before we got on air, but I think it's pretty simple. Yeah, you have to fucking take the deal. I mean,
the funny thing is, my initial impression with okay, she could do both. Take the deal, got to make the money. Plus, some people will tune. It's what we talked about last week. Some people will tune into these Big Three games, and then maybe they might turn into a WNBA game that they might not otherwise have done if they get a little bit comfortable with Caitlin Clark. But as we started to talk this out, it might not be the best idea.
Why not?
Because if you're in the get the bag crowd, it is a good idea because money's at stake. But if you're not, for the very reasons we said, the players could be assholes about it. They could face guard the hell out of her. They could abuse her in the post and those sort of things and make her participation there, really just kind of ugly. Not let her play her game. And I don't know if she's good enough against that level of guy to play her game. And so basically you could have a situation where, you end up being in these you basically get brutalized for 10 games and maybe you're not going to, you'll score whatever, but you won't look good doing it. And then you're not getting any transfer fans into the WNBA to see you there.
My overall point is, first of all, I think it's a bullshit offer. I don't think Ice Cube is serious at all. I think he just wants his name and his his business, his company, his fucking league
Yeah.
in the circles and in the conversation.
Yeah.
Because I have to be honest, I haven't even thought about the Big Three in a couple of years, probably since inception.
Yeah.
And so that is good for him that he found a way to get into the main news, and their season's starting fairly soon. But I say you take the bait because you don't like. Okay, you get in, you play a couple plays, and you sit your ass down. I mean, it's $5 million, and it's only for 2 months. Like there's a short league. It's 10 games over 2 months, and the WNBA is still going to be playing. So that's also why they say you could play both. I was going to finish, but you started talking. But the other way is she can get drafted, right? Because the Big Three starts before the WNBA, and then is going to continue playing after the Big Three is finished. So you can primarily get drafted and just say, okay, when the Big Three is over, I'll come back.
Yeah, she actually holds the cards in that regard if the Big Three starts first.
Yes.
Because you're still like, okay, who's not going to draft her in the WNBA?
That's what I'm saying.
And because she's already under that contract, it either becomes, well, you're either going to open up your contract and let me finish this out and play for you, or you'll just wait until I'm done and then we'll do a deal.
Yeah.
No, I get. Yeah, I didn't. The timing I didn't factor. I didn't know.
What you think, TB? What you think she should do?
Honestly, so I'm with the WNBA not having as much clout or like hype as it's starting to get now, especially with women's college basketball kind of turning up with Juju, Caitlin Clark. You got the Becker, Beckman girl, Paige. You got a couple different players, but honestly, like I'm kind of I kind of side with the WNBA where it's like you kind of taking away from what we got going on, you know. And I fuck with Q because you know what I'm saying, he's starting something, but at the same time, it's like Caitlin, you don't need Caitlin to come to the Big Three to make the Big Three big. Like the Big Three is supposed to be for retired guys. It's almost like drink champs. Like you don't bring a new artist to drink champs. You know what I'm saying? Like you just she gotta wait her turn. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, her thing is the WNBA. Like let her rock out, let her set the bar, get the media going. You know what I'm saying? Get the money. Because when you really start breaking down the financials to the WNBA, you look at why old girl went overseas and got arrested in the first place. You know what I'm saying? She's playing over there because she's not making enough money. So when you hear about somebody getting offered $5 million, like these WNBA women are kind of like, you know what I'm saying? They're not really making that kind of money. So just even the way we just kind of be throwing it around, tossing it up like, hey, come on with this side. Just play these little 10 games. You can get hurt in them 10 games. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. Anything can happen, and that's why they have those clauses to where you can't play nowhere. And I know a lot of y'all know that because y'all deal with guys that come pro and they play overseas, and they got a time stamp on what they can and can't do within a time range. But I'm not for her going to the Big Three. I mean, the Big Three is for old head, you know, basketball players that want to get their thing back going, and some guys that didn't get a shot at the NBA the right way. So they might be like a Lance Stevenson, you know what I'm saying, coming over there after they done played overseas for a little stretch. But either way, the Big Three, with it not being no other female in there, like I would just wait on that. Like that's not, because it ain't gonna do nothing but hurt her, like he said. You know what I'm saying? Like she could play her regular game and they could still shut her down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, again, it's just a different level. Is like, it's like transgenders when we talking about, you know what I'm saying, there's still a man there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still strong as fuck. He's still going, you know what I mean, come do what he got to do. So little shit like that or whatever. So even if you put a Joanna man or whatever you're going to call it,
if you're looking for a side show, Q, maybe that's where you should go. You should go get a transgender and go that route.
I mean, get you a Joanna man.
You don't have anyone that has any public cachet right now.
Not with the game.
Hey, Cube got the first transgender in sports on TV.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to have the right person. Like you got to have somebody that can play.
No, I'm with you. I
just don't know if that person exists right now.
Not right now.
Now, if you put a female on every team and let them just play their game, like you play them straight up, like I'll be cool with that, because at least somewhere through the matchup you can guard a female.
Well, that's another thing they were upset about. Is like, okay, so you offer Caitlin this. Are you going to are you going to offer Juju this? Are you going to offer the next one this after that? And it's like if you're not, then what is this really all about? You know what I'm saying? And and what I really think is all about is just trying to get his Big Three in the talks. And that is furthermore why I want her to say, yeah, I accept, because I think it's bullshit. I don't think it's a real offer.
So
I
what?
really
Like,
don't.
but okay. Assuming she says I accept,
Yeah.
you're thinking at that point, the big three's going to have to come up with some excuse why they can't make this happen.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't put her on the show.
She's really, by saying yes, she's just calling a bluff on something
Calling
that
a
doesn't
bluff.
really exist.
Yeah, that's what I think, and
Okay.
I think you do it for that reason.
That'd be tough.
Yeah, yeah.
I just take things too literally.
Yeah,
It's not my instinct to think that that's just a bullshit offer or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and the big three don't. It literally does not have $5 million to give to her. But I know Cube can go in his pocket and give $5 million.
Oh, but
You know
if
what I
they
mean?
get her to
But-
commit, it's kind of like
yeah.
it's like the Dion thing. Like Colorado didn't have the money for that contract when they signed it.
Yeah.
But they were confident there would be
You
enough.
can get
there.
a deal. You can get a TV
Yeah.
deal.
No, that's the thing.
somebody's gonna get it just for Caitlyn purposes.
And a lot of like when you're talking about the other thing you got to consider when you're talking about the big three, which is not something that's governed by like a players association and those sort of things, like you can do a lot of different things with that money.
Yeah.
Like you can contract for that money and it could be, okay, you're playing the 10 games, but you're also signing to be a league ambassador, and we have a list of sort of commercial commitments that attach to that that's all connected to that $5 million. It might, it's probably not, assuming they don't just have the money to do it, which you might be completely right. There's other things that contract represents. Commercial, name, image, likeness, a lot of those types of things that all come together as sort of a promotional piece.
Yeah, I think if he wanted to sponsor her, become her, what I'm saying, like he's saying, like, like how they got the NIL deals and all of that type of stuff. Like, you want to do that, like, hey, you sponsored by the big three. Now, that's different. She becomes the ambassador, something like that.
Well, she wouldn't be sponsored. She would be like, she'd have obligations as an ambassador of the league that are different than just, simply showing up to play the 10 games.
Would you watch? Would you be like? Would you go out of your way to make sure you watch?
I would not go out of my way to watch.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I like you. I did not watch. I think I watched the night that Jay Will tore his ACL. And that was when Jay Will was playing for Pedro's Posse pretty regularly. And I didn't, after that, I was like, I don't need to watch this.
Yeah, like, she a bucket, but, like, she just a shooter, though, right? Like, I've actually never really watched a game. I've always just heard the hype.
She has a more of a complete game, but compared to men playing against older men, I don't know what it would look like. I would assume she would just become a shooter in a big three type of league with those men. But against women, I mean, she can get a bucket outside of just shooting the ball.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's for sure. But we moving along here. Another thing that's interesting. In the world of sports here, NBA, you got this guy here, right? First, there's a couple of things. First of all, Jontay Porter. I did not know this was Michael Porter Jr.'s brother.
I knew that, yeah.
I didn't know Michael Porter Jr. had a brother.
Yeah, no, they played together at Missouri.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. I don't watch a lot of Missouri basketball.
They're only there 1 year. And Michael only played a handful of games because of his back issues at the time.
Jontay should have probably played a lot more years. But he's a solid role player.
He's the older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which is also weird because Michael Porter has the junior name.
Yeah.
He has the junior. Usually junior
Maybe
is the
Dad
oldest
knew.
brother.
He knew he wasn't going to attach his name to the wrong horse.
Or maybe he wasn't quite sure that was his son.
Maybe he knew.
But anyhow, he's been investigated.
That damn mailman could never shoot.
He's been investigated for prop betting irregularities. And this has just always been in the back of my mind. I know TP he had a stretch. I don't know if you're still doing it, but he had a stretch where he did a lot of prop betting. Yeah, that's where you kind of started at prop betting.
Let him parlays, man.
Yeah, I started with betting on games and stuff like that. And then I moved.
So for the uninitiated, so a game bet is I'm betting on the Raptors to beat the Knicks.
Spread,
prop betting is I'm betting on an individual player
to hit a certain amount of
to do an individual thing, score 20 points, get 4 steals, those sort of things.
But in the back of my mind, whether it's prop betting or even betting on the game, you always think like, damn, when you lose, you're like, damn, man, this player here, it seemed like he
how
threw
the-
this shit.
How the fuck he couldn't?
Yeah,
hit
you know,
me?
how in the hell? And then you got this guy, Jontay, which is my first time in my memory where I can really remember, and because it just happened this week or whatever. But so it happened like 2 or 3 times where they caught it irregularity, where the Vegas lost a lot of money, or this particular site. I think it was I don't think it was Hard Rock. I think it was the other one. All right, they lost a lot of money on these 3 days with him, and all of his unders hit, and his betting, right, or the money that was won on him was the most in sports on that particular day, right?
And he's a low profile.
He's a low profile player. Most of the time when guys are betting, they are betting on players that they know or that are in the news. Like there's not a ton of guys that are going to bet on Jontay Porter.
Well, I mean, there's not a ton of people that know who the hell he is.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of them.
If you're even an NBA casual, this is not a guy that you're the name's on the top of your tongue.
And for it to be the masses, like that many people betting and that many people knowing to bet the under, or for these groups to bet an exorbitant amount of money is what I'm trying to say. They bet. It's not that it was a billion people betting on Jontay. It was the amount of money that was won and gambled on him. And then what he does is, he has a particular game, for example, where it's like 0.5 threes attempted under, total rebounds was like 4 or something under. And he goes in the game, and within 2 minutes, he's saying he has an eye injury, a former eye injury. The next game, his stomach is hurting, so he comes out within like 5 minutes of the game.
What is the signal for my stomach's hurting and I need to come out of the game?
I don't know, man.
Is there a signal for that?
I don't know. And when you think about if a guy is going to throw a game to that degree, it's like, okay, it has to be faking an injury or starting a fight or whatnot, because you can't. I don't know. Can you half-ass a game? Maybe guys can do that.
Well, I mean, it kind of depends. Like you mentioned, like 0.5 3-point attempts. To me, like you could play hard and just not shoot a three.
Yeah.
That, like, if I don't want to shoot a three, like, you can just put those balls on the deck or go into a dribble handoff. Like, there's a lot of ways to avoid shooting a three that are not like, hey, I'm not playing hard, I'm not doing whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That is an interesting
And
question.
then it's like, why would you do it if you're already an NBA player? How much can be gained from this? Because prop betting is different in the aspect of you can't make as much money prop betting as you do betting on an individual game, because there's only so much amount of money that you can bet, and also to win a lot of money doing prop betting, you would have to parlay it out, and you would have to add that means you have to add other players on your ticket. So it's not a ton of money you can even win that way. Mm-hmm. So I wonder what is the incentive for him?
Well, I mean, I think we have to have some context. He's a fringe NBA guy.
Yeah.
He's not attached to a lot of guaranteed money. I don't know the particulars of his contract, but it's not huge money. This is different than his brother, who's got $100 million plus deal. And so that's the thing. I mean, if you're looking at manipulating these things, the amount of money to get, to move the needle for a Jontay Porter is way less than the amount of money to move for anybody on a max contract or something of that nature. So that has to be taken in context.
I think it's still dumb.
Oh, is it dumb? 100%. Like, I don't like anything that fucks with the sanctity of the game.
Yeah.
Me personally. I'm about the game. I'm about competition. And it just any of this. I'm not a bit, I don't bet personally. I don't get why, I don't connect with why people bet. I can understand and hear the argument, but it doesn't resonate with me and who I am. So that whole world is just foreign to me. But the reality is, sports are not as big financially and every other aspect if that's not part of the equation. There, it's that thing like, when you you have the hardcore fans who watch it because they love it, and then you have the tons of other people that are watching it because they got money on it, or because their corporate employer has the suite for that night. And there's a lot of reasons people do stuff. As far as that goes, I mean, to me, it wasn't a gambling story, but I was up in Chicago and I went to watch the Chicago Fire, which is the MLS team up there, and my son and I went to the game. After the game, I'm in McDonald's getting some food, and there's two guys in front of me. These two guys had a combined body fat of 100%. 50% per man. They were just fat slobs who probably couldn't run to midfield and back without dying. And but they were all dressed up in team merchandise.
Oh yeah.
And they're having this animated discussion about the game. And it dawned on me in a significant way. It's my son and I watched the game almost in silence. We would occasionally comment to each other, "Oh yeah, that was a shitty pass," or they need to be get better spacing here or there. In this analytical realm, we made no crowd noise, no impact in far as that go. We enjoyed ourselves doing what we do, but we don't move the needle for the stadium. The stadium would rather have the two fat boys in there yelling and screaming and slugging down $12 beers, but that's what moves the needle in sports.
Yeah. What you think, TP? Especially you being a prop betting type of guy.
I just need him to text my phone and tell me who I need to bet on, because I be losing by one fucking prop, bro. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I rationalize prop betting people betting on lotto tickets. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna always win. But when you hit shit, you feel like you the man. Everybody got their thing, right? Everybody got their fix. You know what I'm saying? We all need something to kind of keep us going, because we go to work and work these 9 to 5s and shit. So for me, prop betting is people that say, man, well, you play basketball, you watch basketball, that should be easy for you. Well, it's not, because shit, you got the guys in the NBA actually going against the grain on purpose. You got guys going against the grain just because they just having a fucked up night. You know what I'm saying? And then you got guys getting sat down because coach wants to fucking rest them today, and now you got load management. All of a sudden, your prop done got hit with this player's not playing no more. Stuff like that. So it's all Russian roulette. But I think it's cool. It's just it gives some type of level of excitement to the game. It is when you get knee deep in it, where you kind of feeling like a junkie. You got to kind of catch yourself, because you'll start betting these 12 legs, these, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll start getting real pissed because you putting big money up. I always tell people, just start low, man. Bet small bets. Keep it fun. Don't go out here betting $2,000-$3,000, you know what I'm saying? Old girl that hit, what was it, Ruby Rose or something like that, hit the Super Bowl or some shit like that. She hit it dead on and won a bunch of money. But these dudes are putting up millions of dollars to go against. Drake is a known guy to put up a cool $1 million to bet back and win back $2-3 million. That ain't us, you know what I'm saying? So put your little $10 on there. If you lose that shit, treat it like you done lost $10 on a lotto ticket. You know what I'm saying? Do
you play the lottery as well?
No, I don't. Okay. I can't. Yeah, I tried to scratch off
two
shit.
People in Florida that won a piece of that.
It's always somebody in Florida.
I'll play the Powerball or the Mega Millions. I won't play the lesser games. If I win, I want it to change my life.
Oh yeah.
A million to change my life.
Yeah.
Them tickets is down in
one guy in Vito won $1 million, and then another guy in Duval won $1 million, and then somebody in another state won the big money.
Yeah,
I was thinking a 7-Eleven in Oviedo. I'm sure I probably walked in that 7-Eleven before.
Haven't we all?
That's a shitty feeling.
Nah, I don't know.
You gotta pay to play.
Yeah, nah, that's a fact.
Nah, I don't. I'll play the big ones.
You got to play to win.
But those NBA guys though, I'm not gonna lie, that's a little cheat code. So you know what I mean? You kind of right there with the dudes.
It's so many different.
It's levels to it. Yeah, it's levels to it.
With a prop bet, all a guy got to do is not play, right, and your prop is screwed.
Yep.
There's no saving grace if a guy's ruled out of the game.
No, you're just fucked. And now all you can depend on is, if you're doing a prop parlay, is to get 5 out of 6 or whatever and win a portion back. Because they got these things, the tags and NBA is awful. NFL is okay because you kind of understand, but the questionable probables that really don't mean nothing in NBA.
Yeah.
Like they'll be probable up to the minute and just not play, and it says or they'll get ruled out so late. Like the Lakers are a West Coast team for us. They play late, and LeBron was ruled out like maybe around 8-9 o'clock. But you're trying to build your parlays by 6 or 7.
You in lunchtime.
Or much earlier than that.
Yeah.
So it's bad that way. But
find a better hobby.
That's just the first thing. The
Double
second
down
thing I
on
was going to
coochie.
say, if you got guys like this taking nosedives,
and
then he's telling his people, like I wish Austin would have, if we had a text chain with Austin where you could be like, I'm not playing today. I'm hurt, guys.
Yeah.
I don't think Joker is playing tonight either. When he's on
you
Denver.
know what's funny? Like, so the implication with the investigation is that this is like, and you're probably 100% right. Like, it's probably some bigger thing that he's involved in.
Yeah.
But like, you talk about like a text chain. It's like, what if he's doing what he's doing just to screw over his buddies? Like his friends in the text. It's like, yo, I got you tonight to shoot 2 3-pointers. He's just like, I ain't gonna make it get these guys.
But that's why I never take props out on Miami. Like I'll probably take a prop out on Miami like every once in a blue because like tonight we got like 5 guys sitting. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's like main guys: Kevin Love, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson.
Jimmy only plays like a fraction of the
Yeah, he's on his Kawhi shit right now.
Do y'all notice on ESPN the website that when Jimmy Butler's headshot is when he had the girl's haircut?
Oh yeah, that's the one they go. That was the one from this year though.
That's so funny though. That is so funny.
It makes it so hard to even rate a player like Jimmy though because
he takes them games off.
Yeah, right. He self-manages himself throughout the regular seasons, and then he balls out in the postseasons. But he's not winning. He's not winning titles.
Yeah.
But he's performing in the play. How do you even rate a player like that?
Extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. But I mean, in a higher stakes, that's the same as Kawhi.
I'm about to say Kawhi did the same shit.
Like Kawhi has the championship.
I was going to say that makes a big difference.
And I get that, but
not only that.
How do you? But like Kawhi, like how like. Both players, how the hell do you define their legacy, their career, their place in the game because of the way they play themselves?
It's much different for Kawhi. Much different for Kawhi.
Because you have titles.
Not only that's like fucking that's the answer. But the other things are Kawhi is like he has had like injuries you can quantify and say he's hurt. Like I understand with the Spurs and some with Toronto a little bit. It was self-managed. I think he got grouped into that. But I do think Kawhi has arthritic knees, and it was legit injuries. Jimmy Butler's, that's not the case. It's literally rest. It's literally rest. And with Kawhi, it's not so much rest.
Yeah, I understand this difference, but yeah.
And also Kawhi, and he plays more than Jimmy, and all NBA teams, all of that stuff. With Jimmy, it's literally the point of, that's why I think it's a bad comparison, because he doesn't have any of the accolades. He doesn't have many all-NBA teams. I know he's made the All-Star team a few times.
Yeah, no, he does not have all the traditional accolades, but you get in a meaningful game, and he goes toe-to-toe with close to everybody. I mean, that's what the way it is.
Does he make the Hall of Fame?
For me, yes. I'm lenient on the Hall of Fame, though. I'm not a Hall of Fame Nazi. I think he's an important part of this era of basketball. I think his career is
you were all about
unique in
winning,
that regard. I am about winning. It's not like the guy's dropping games left and right. He's made 2 finals runs with teams that aren't very good.
So
that's
that
significant. Yeah, for me, yeah. I put him in. But I like I said, I'm not a Nazi about the Hall of Fame.
I feel like everybody getting Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm a Hall of Fame Nazi. I wish it wasn't the way it was.
Yeah, everybody getting things now.
Yeah, because it is not. It's not a thing.
It's like they doing it just to do it every year now. Like almost like that's what it feels like. Like every year you got to drop.
Well, okay, who is like in the last window of time? I'm not saying like this year, but like in the times you can remember, like what has been the for you the most offensive Hall of Fame selection?
most recently that I can think
Well,
of.
a guy that's
it's
made
Tracy
it
McGrady.
into the Hall of Fame.
I was about to
and-
say
and-
Vince Carter going in next too.
Yeah, most
Well, I'm
recently.
saying a guy that's in now.
Tracy McGrady.
Tracy
most recent for
McGrady.
me.
Tracy
For you?
McGrady. Yeah.
Really?
I remember.
Yeah.
Nah,
Because
I'll
I don't.
I like McGrady. I'll take him all day.
Yeah, I like him as a player.
No, I put him in.
I don't know about the Hall of
For
Fame
what,
though.
though?
Well, yeah. What did he do? Like
he
I
didn't
mean,
even
the,
do what he didn't even do what Jimmy did.
the Magic
I
was a
damn sure
the
think
Magic
Jimmy-
was a
He's very
run.
poor in the playoffs for sure. Yeah.
The
So
Magic
what-
was a run. After the Magic, he went to Houston
why
and
should he
just
go
kind of.
When he got here and just night to night with not good players around him, just took on the burden and it was just dropping points on people. I loved it.
Yeah, but that's
I
not.
thought that was pretty exceptional.
That's not Hall of
Yeah,
Fame
Al
worthy.
Iverson did the
Guys,
same thing, but got his
guys
team to the
did that
finals.
night in and night
I
out.
know.
And Iverson definitely way above McGrady.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I understand that T-Mac is a good player, but Hall of Fame is just.
Yeah, I
that's
don't know.
fucking
Everybody had a
nuts.
bad team.
That is
Everybody had a
insane to
bad
me.
team. You just gotta. Hey,
Yeah, I
Never got it done. Not even one meaningful playoff run. Not one in your entire career.
I get it. He got comprehensively outplayed by Baron Davis, toe to toe.
That's tough.
Yeah. But I hear you.
That's tough.
You're lenient.
Yeah, for sure.
Last one here. I thought I had one. Oh yes, I do. I actually got two more, but we got time. Kevin Durant, Phoenix Suns, and there are a couple more teams that are just crumbling, man. They're crumbling at the seams here, and Durant in particular, he's a player that I just feel like he's escaped criticism a lot throughout the years. Almost a lot to your Tracy McGrady thing, to where it's because people see the scoring. They say he's an unstoppable force, even though we've literally seen him be stopped. And he just, I don't know, he escapes criticism. And you got the Suns the Suns have the hardest schedule. It looks like the Florida Gators football schedule next year. Like it's awful what they have the remaining on their schedule. They may not make the playoffs. The remaining 11 games I think they have left. It's literally the hardest as far as winning percentage that the teams they have to face. They may miss the play-in. That's how tough.
Is that bad?
Yeah, it's that bad.
Wow.
It's that bad. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. See, the hardest thing that I have to do is, like, I evaluate the players kind of on my own thing. And I've always said that Kevin Durant is not a face of franchise leader guy. He's a talented elite scorer, but he's not like a face of franchise guy, and he's shown us that over and over and over again. And so when you look at his career, you look at the titles with the Warriors, and then everywhere else has been a failure, where he's been the front man. And that's who he is for me. I've never seen him as more than that, because for me, he's never been more than that. But I recognize that there's a strand of fans that have regarded him as at points the best player in the world or what have you. I've just never felt that way, so it's hard to say that he's kind of like overrated. Not by me. I think I've rated him accurately.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. He's just not really a high-level winner. And I think, to me, he's a guy that just loves to hoop, and he doesn't embrace the other responsibilities of winning. And that's the legacy that he has for me.
But still a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What's
for
the
that end, I mean, at the end,
KD is a Hall of Fame.
He was an MVP.
KD is a Hall of Fame.
He was a title.
No, that was a
winner.
joke. That was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not a big KD fan. I'm not gonna flex. I'm not really a big. He got my number though. I wear 35. Shout out to my boy Keith. 35. That's our thing. But I'm not a big KD fan. I like dogs, man. I'm sorry. Like KD for me is what we classify back in the day as a hooper. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to separate it like it was hoopers and it was ballers. You know what I'm saying? The hooper was a guy that showed up, looked nice, probably had a nice jump shot, you know what I'm saying? Almost like a pretty boy on the basketball court, got some clean shoes. He going to do his thing. A baller is somebody that probably just came from playing pickup, 5-6 games of pickup, probably coming to tryouts, looking dingy, dirty. He finna give you 30 and he finna rebound, do everything, all the work. I feel like after KD's run with the Warriors, like we kind of almost forgot KD was the guy that came from OKC that didn't get it done. You know what I'm saying? and you put
we
these.
We were quickly reminded in Brooklyn because he did nothing there.
Exactly, and that's kind of my point. Like, I would never want him on Miami because the culture is different in Miami. Like, you got to play, you got to hoop, you got to show up every night, winning or losing. Like, you can't rely on these other guys. And when you see these guys do these big ass, contract talks, like, oh, we got Bradley Beal, we got Devin Butler, we got this guy. To me, that, like, again, only 5 people can go on the court at one time. You know what I'm saying? The ball is only one basketball. Like, some got to shake when things ain't going right. And I don't see KD as being a defensive specialist. So once you stop talking about offense, it's like, okay, well, who's doing the other stuff? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a huge fan of KD, all that bouncing around, you know what I mean, trying to say I'm the man, I'm the best player in the league. He didn't personally say he was the best player in the league, but the hype around him being the best player in the league, like, he didn't do enough dirty work for me, you know what I'm saying? One thing I liked about Steph and his run was I didn't appreciate Steph at first. I didn't really even know who he was in that first championship, but when I seen him come back, just being the height that he was, the things that he was doing, I was like, okay, no, this dude putting in work. KD just really lives around, okay, I'm tall, I get my shots off, I get my buckets, but we really win the game through everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. On Steph, when he brought himself from a bad defender to an average defender, throughout his prime, that really garnered a lot of respect for me. It's the exact same thing that Luka's doing right now, which is adding to their success or whatever. But as far as Phoenix, they're just in a they're in a tough spot because Bradley Beal, when they brought him over on that Supermax deal, that really hampered what they could do from a roster standpoint. And they do need better role players on that team that could do multiple things. And really, they probably need to bring him off the bench, but at the same time, because because I would start Grayson Allen just because Grayson Allen is one of the best shooters in the league right now, and you kind of need that spacing for Durant and Booker. If I'm not mistaken, I think Grayson is number one.
I'm asking this question because I don't know, though, but how many games have those 3 guys actually
Not
played
a ton.
together?
That's another
see
thing.
what I'm saying?
I mean, for me,
That's another thing.
I'm a team guy in the sense that, like, when you put a group of people together, like, sometimes it just clicks and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of times you can feel when it clicks for teams. And you've never felt this with the Suns all year.
At least you can say with the Nets, when those 3 were on the court, it clicked. You felt it.
Yeah.
Like when KD, James Harden, and Kyrie was on the court.
It simply didn't happen enough.
It just didn't happen enough. With these 3, when Kevin Durant, Booker, and Bill are on, even when they are on the court, it just doesn't look it doesn't look like an overpowering feeling or anything. It's just a solid team.
And that's part of it. And like I mean, when a roster comes together, a team comes together, like, you can feel it. And this is again why I hate a lot of the load management stuff. Like, there is something that happens when people play consistently together over time. Yeah. And by the same token, I believe great players can mesh quickly. I'm not a big believer that you watch a team play like 40 games and you're like, hey, they just need some more time to figure it out. Kind of bullshit. But by the same token, like, when you have experiences together and you become something, like, you become a team that, like, whatever, your defense becomes more connected, or maybe you're a team that you go through that situation where you start to become a team that comes back on people, and like, those things matter because they become like institutional characteristics of that team and that group of guys. And I think when you look at what's happened in Phoenix and you look at what happened in Brooklyn, this is not to exclude KD of any responsibility, but neither one of those groups played together enough, ever got like an identity and a momentum together of what they were and what they did. And I just think that that's kind of a waste of all the resources that they put to put those groups together.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If you look, I mean, and another one, you go back to the Celtics of 2008. Like, they brought those guys together. They did that Europe trip where they did the Ubuntu thing, and that group hit the ground running. They started the year, I think, like 20-4 or something.
Yeah.
And just everything like after that. Now, in the playoffs, they got in some wars, but to me, all that equity that they built up all year, that helped them get through those wars. they were more connected because of that experience. I thought, like, you know, I know it didn't end the way that I wanted it to, but the 73-9 Warriors, like, they just became a machine at one point, where it's just rolling. And there was the Heat team with LeBron. They had, I think it was the second or third year, I think they had like a 26-game winning streak in the middle of the year. Like, it's just clicking. That's the highest form. That's what you're striving to do, you know, is reach that peak level performance. All systems are firing. Guys are connected. The group has a common belief, a common identity of who they are, and they just start to bring that on a super consistent basis.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about, for sure, for sure. All right, TP, when you're talking about put up a shut up tournament, GM5, things of that nature, you got put up a shut up is coming up first.
Yeah.
As far as your tournaments, the THP and what you guys are bringing to the local hoops community here. So, you know, give your pitch right now for put up a shut up and why guys should look into it, planning and getting into it and checking it out.
First of all, shout out to the champs, Clutch City. You know, the first time Jeff went in without the boy Ant. Put up a shut up is a legacy tournament. You know what I'm saying? Something that we built years ago when we first started or whatever. It's something that we built to kind of give guys like their own name, right? So like if you had a name or you were somebody, we just whitewashed. I mean, not whitewashed it, but we just drowned that shit out. We didn't care about it. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? Because we looked at it at the time when we started Put Up or Shut Up. It was kind of like a street ball thing. We was outside and we was all playing each other, but we talked shit every day. You had to show up every single day. It wasn't no, man, what I did yesterday. So Put Up or Shut Up is one of those tournaments to where you got to come in and earn your own keep. You come in by yourself. The teams are pre-selected based on guys that played previously. You got 7 players per team type situation, and everybody has to. It's a role player tournament, 2-game elimination. It's a draft concept, a combine concept. We mix the talent up, so it's easier for guys to get a win, and it's harder for guys to get a win at the same time. You got guys that come in with a name kind of thinking like, hey, look, you know, I'm used to putting up 30, and in this situation, this is really not a 30 situation. This is, we need you to give me maybe 15, and I need you to get those other guys involved, because if you don't, the 6 guys on the other side are going to abuse you, you know what I'm saying, even if they don't look like that part. And it's really one of those things where you find out what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? And we highlight the shit out of it, you know. And then people respect you for it. Like, the people in our community, what's beautiful about it is, like, instead of them worrying about the guys with the name and the hype, they literally look at the guy who rebounded all day and be like, yo, I'm getting bro on my rec league team because he rebounds. They're like, he literally is a rebound junkie. And right now he may not be good, but he play enough in what we trying to get him to do. Oh, yeah, he going to be what I need him to be. And that guy may be like 28 years old. You know what I'm saying? Because our thing is, you just never know. Like, we're not saying you trying to go out here and, like, you know, change the world in basketball, but you want to have all the same feelings you had when you was a kid playing basketball, just like Hoop It Up, Junior Magic, all of that shit. Winning shit still feel the same way. It should still feel very much organic. You know, you got your family there, your wife now, your kids. It should feel the same way. Like, you should feel happy.
Side pieces as well.
Side pieces as well. Just don't fucking make us scream loud. Don't say shit. You know what I'm saying? But seriously though, like, and we realized with Put Up or Shut Up, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to brand the regular guy and make the regular guy the guy. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody's like, oh no, I could take him, I could take this team, and I used to tell everybody, it's like, yo, you know, my pitch to Put Up or Shut Up is simple. You won't win. That's my pitch. I don't pitch Put Up or Shut Up anymore. Like, I go to the best player in the city, and whoever he is at the time or whatever's going on, like, I'll tell you, you won't win my shit. Sign up. You won't win. Like, because the thing is, it's not you I'm worried about. It's the other guys that you're not going to pass the ball to, because you're going to feel like you got to do all the work. And that's the difference of what Put Up or Shut Up is. Everybody got to catch, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got to touch the ball, because it's just going to make sense in the long run. The team that has everybody put a hand on the ball doing something is going to win the tournament. And that's usually what happens. You know what I'm saying?
What's the format of it? You guys still doing the what, 1 day or 2 days?
So Put Up or Shut Up is a 2-day thing. You got a combine. So it starts out with a combine. It's basically like a setup to where we give guys, like, you know, drills. We do cone drills the whole nine. Like, I know some guys for a stretch, they was like, man, I'm a pro. I don't do that. Don't come to my shit. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you're doing drills because what happens is you get guys that are like 6'10", want to play point guard. And it's like, bro, we not finna have that. Like, let's just expose you now so we ain't got to worry about that later. Because then put up a shot.
But the game exposes people.
No,
like,
it do.
not
It
the
do.
drills.
But some people still like, but the drills warm people up too. Like, I'm a firm believer of you got to warm yourself up before we play this scrimmage match in this combine.
If you need to warm up, go run around the parking lot.
Nah, man, I done went and saw these dudes get in these games and chuck 33s, and then we sitting here waiting for them to hit the first shot. In my method of doing the combine setup, when that game started at the end of the day, dudes are hitting way more shots because they literally, like, their body is warmed up. We're not finna sit here and, watch you just chuck and say, well, bruh, because I hear it all the time, like, man, I got to stay in the game because I got to get loose. Well, shit, get loose during warm-ups. When they give you a 5-minute warm-up, throw that ball in the air, do the layup for real. But guys don't do that, so I force you to do that. You know what I'm saying? I force you to warm up. I force you to get all of those drills in, and then we have a really big-ass basketball game. But when you see that game, it's going to look a lot better no matter who's in it because guys are just more in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? But the structure is simple. It's just like the NBA structure. You got the combine, then you got a draft format based on the lottery. And then after that, we give a 3-week like stretch, what we call the practice period, because basically you're walking into a 2-game elimination tournament. So we don't want no excuses and put up a shut up, aka PUSU. Like, no excuses. We got a dude on the mic who's talking cash shit. We got 2 DJs running, you know what I'm saying? We probably got a food truck out back. Bubba probably got his little side show going on, you know what I'm saying, with some things popping. But the room is loud on purpose. We want it to be loud. We want commotion. We want screaming in the crowd. We want somebody who don't even know what the hell going on, but he voting for his homeboy. Like, we want all of that so you can get confused. We do rookie, veteran, sophomore type status. So when you come, I tell everybody, like, you're a rookie. They say, man, ain't nothing to me. Well, you get in here, you're going to think you know what you're doing because you're thinking it's just strict basketball. Well, there's combinations to this shit. You lose one, you might have to play 4 games. It's little shit you need to know, you know what I'm saying, because you're going down a long road. And guys ain't ready to play ball all day.
What is the construction of the teams? Because in GM5 you bring 5 guys. How are these teams constructed in Put Up or Shut Up?
So in Put Up or Shut Up, the teams, because GM5, like, Put Up or Shut Up is actually GM5 is the extension of Put Up or Shut Up. So in Put Up or Shut Up, the teams are pre-selected by guys that played with us previously, and they just pick 6 players of their liking based on the draft.
The team captains that we have here on the graphic. They're going to have 6 guys of their own pick.
Of their own.
And then they have to do what? 4 out of the combine or?
No, so they're gonna pick no. So
Jeff's team right now is blank.
No,
it's Jeff alone.
So 2 teams always come back. So the 2 teams in the middle where you see Clutch City and Kingsman. What happens is we have what's called a championship rematch. So whoever makes it to the finals, those 2 teams come back, the winner and the runner up, because we want to kind of Put Up or Shut Up like a ladder. Like, now it's even harder for the new guys.
Would there be any additions or subtractions to their team?
If they lose a guy, they just pick them up, a new guy in the draft. That's something that could happen. We don't know.
So option 1, Clutch City or Kingsman can bring back their entire team that won the event or appeared in the final last year. If they lose a guy or somebody's not available, they can pick up whoever
in
they
the draft,
choose.
and they start in the 4th round of that draft.
Okay.
But
wait, no, hold on. I want to correct that. So if they lose a guy, they have to wait until the 4th round of the draft to get somebody else.
And they'll have the lowest seed in that draft, no matter what the lottery is.
Okay, so let's go to like the other teams here. We see Shane with Team Win, Nick with Ojon Roofing. As of today, do they have anybody on their roster, or it all comes from the
their
draft?
Players themselves? So
other than themselves.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So Shane is him, Nick's him. They're going to have to get the rest of their roster out of the combine and draft.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I try and tell people, like, put yourself as a player, like, for real. Like, if you're a guard, don't go get another guard. Like, that makes no sense. Like, go get what you need because you have to play too. You know what I'm saying?
What's going to be is a draft order already out, or you guys do that like right before?
Well, we do that closer to the date because you got guys like Shane that'll tell a homeboy, like, hey, look, I got the number 1 pick,
Yeah,
bro.
he did that last year
Don't
when,
show up, or show up for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, but it taints the draft. It taints the combine. It kind of hurts. And then we also have this policy with THP where it's a no resume, no favoritism. Like, we don't want guys to be turned away from our functions because they feel like, well, it's just no way in hell I'm ever gonna get picked because guys are just telling their boys to show up for 3 minutes, they leave and they pick. Like, we don't like that, so that's why we throw so many rules and curveballs to where it's like, bro, don't fuck up my shit and then go to the next man's shit and like highlight his shit. Like, let my shit be as cool as his shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just trying to give a little structure. So
well, last year his guard stayed. But speaking of, I haven't seen that guard around in a while. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
It was a shorter guy. Yeah, well, I have to think about it off air because it'll take me forever to try to think of his name because I had only saw him there, and I know it was Shane's guy because everybody was saying it. He said it, and I really haven't seen him after that. It was a scorer. He's a guard. He could score. Gino.
Yeah,
God
Gino.
damn, how you pull
Gino
that name
plays
out?
for the I be young. Gino plays for he played for the Royals, and then I don't think he came back because during that FBA transition, a lot of guys kind of just went on to do something different. I think Gino was one of those guys. Like, he probably still in the circuit around the city, but I don't think he's anywhere. Yeah, he's not in no league. He was never really in the rec leagues though. Okay. I think he was just kind of like a FBA guy. You know, just kind of hooping on the scene and probably playing some private runs and shit.
That
like
name
that.
ring a bell to you?
No, I'd have to see him.
You have to see him. Yeah,
Short
picture or
Spanish,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you got a date?
April 27th is the combine. We're telling everybody right now, register.
Register by April 21.
Yep, register by April 21st.
So if you're an individual player,
yeah,
who thinks that you can hoop,
yeah, facts.
The idea is that you register, appear at the combine,
yeah,
and hopefully get picked by one of these teams.
Yeah. So you're gonna register. You don't have to pay yet, but you're gonna register. You're gonna pay $50 before you enter that combine situation. If you get picked, you're gonna pay another $50. That's gonna take care of your jersey, the whole nine, everything we got planned up for that day. And then
uniforms are provided.
Yes, the uniforms are provided. And then what's crazy is the price line. It started when we first started. It was like $35 or some shit like that. But it was a referee who told us to like really start upping the price down the road because he was an accountant and he was like, listen, man, at the end of the day, these people are betting on their game. He was like, and if they feel like they good enough, who are you to tell, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell them they not and say, well, just put your money where your mouth is, bro. So we started like, you know what I'm saying?
Somebody's going to tell them.
Yeah. Listen.
One thing I can say, though, if you come out here to perform, you're going to get drafted. Because I was at the last two combines just watching. And it's just a lot of people on the sideline, they're saying, yeah, who is this guy? Because a lot of people do come without a name that don't, you know. Like, my boy, when I bought my boy, nobody knew him.
Willie?
Huh?
Willie?
No, not Willie. Willie was GM5.
Put up a shut up.
I'm talking about 1v1.
Oh, yeah.
When I bought him, nobody knew him.
Nobody knew Joe,
but he performed well in the combine. He got picked up. I don't know, like second round or something.
And that's the beauty of put up a shut up. That's why I say it's what made GM5 because honestly, like, we prided ourselves on having new talented guys. Like, everybody would use the same dudes every day. I would go to a rec league or I would hear somebody. I'm seeing these same faces, and I'm like, damn, y'all rewatching these players. And we would start generating all of these new guys from Longwood, guys from Castleberry, guys from Kissimmee, but they just street ball players. They guys that may be playing the gym, but they don't get the same recs or the phone call for the private run. So, you know.
Who would be the guy that you'd be most proud of in that category?
In that category? Man, dang, it's a few bodies.
You can throw a couple names out if you want.
All right, so I'll say I like Santos. I know this may sound strange, but Santos has really built like a really big network with the community. You know what I'm saying? Aside from just playing the game of basketball, like, he's actually took a lot of what I kind of like embraced. You know what I'm saying?
But you like him as a player or as a human?
No, as a player, he's gotten a lot better too, though. Because see, the thing with Santos is Santos had a meniscus issue,
right?
And if you knew Santos was one of those cats in the neighborhood. He was a dog. Like, he was young, but he could hoop, he could shoot, he talked a lot of shit, but he could really go. You know what I'm saying? So to see his transition, and he's playing in my opinion, it's not the best defensive leagues like the Florida Masters and some of these the Wednesday night at Winter Park and stuff like that, but he's getting runs in there. Shit, it's days I can't even run with regular guys. You know what I'm saying? So I can say that I am proud of him when it comes to stuff like that. Who else can I name? Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was addressing.
You gotta be, but also you gotta be tricky because you gotta be cautious because a lot of guys don't want to be in that category of guys that you're saying. You're asking him about park guys who have become good basketball players.
The guys that whatever played at the park or whatever, and now they came to a PUSU or they came to GM5, and now they're kind of like a
lot of people don't like that moniker, but there are quite a few players.
They may not like the moniker, but if that's what they are, that's what they are.
But my
Trap
overall point is
Trap is a part player.
My overall point is there are some quality players that have come through the THP project that you may not put the moniker of him as a park player, but guys who got a name through playing through that league.
Well, that's kind of what I'm asking.
Like Tyson.
Yeah.
Like Tyson came through THP, and nobody really knew him in this area.
Nobody knew Tyson, Steph, the movements. Jeremiah brought him.
Yeah.
Who else?
Big Main.
Who are you?
Big Main is another one.
Big Main is another one.
Jermaine is another one. You know what I mean? So there's definitely.
I feel like Dom Johnson. This sounds crazy to say, but Dom Johnson is definitely one.
And the one kid, he came in half the season through. What was that? The second GM5. He played for Game Time. He's really good.
Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Forward.
It's my boy
Rob
Johnson.
Rob.
Who voted for Rob? Yes,
Yeah,
Rob Johnson. That's my.
Rob
Rob Jackson.
Rob
Jackson.
Yeah, nobody knew
Rob
him
Jackson.
THP.
Yeah. No, it's a lot, man, and I feel bad because I can't name him off the top of my head right now, but. The way I'm sure some people probably look at this and be like, "Come on, bro, name me, bro." But it really is a lot of players that you know what I'm saying that come through our circuit and that hoop, and we got guys that help with bringing a lot of players like Jeremy McCray. Shane brings guys. Ant, because who Ant is, he brings players just off his face. He don't have no social media, but I use his face, you know what I'm saying, to market shit.
No, Ant is big
and shout out to my guy.
And Shane the big in the
that's my
basketball
boy.
community.
Ant been cool. Man, I've known Ant since high school. Like that's my guy. So I fucks with Ant, and to see his transition is beautiful. He's also a THP guy, but he already had a name. You know what I'm saying? He already had his thing going. So I would never claim that. When it comes to that, but there's definitely some people. Like I said, you got new guys, Trap Jones, that's getting his rocks off and shit like that or whatever. So Tommy, Tommy isn't really a THP guy. He was doing his thing already, but Tommy.
I would say that's very close.
Yeah, he's like borderline. He's like borderline.
For
you
sure.
know what I'm saying? But it just in general, man. What was it? Nye came through our shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
Nye.
saying? Nye's another one.
His pops.
Bryce.
People knew his pops, but people didn't know Nye.
Bryce is in college doing this thing right now, you know what I'm saying? So he's another player. And again, we're not claiming these guys to say, look, we the ones who started their careers in basketball. It's just we gave them some type of vessel so people could recognize who they are and say, look,
platform.
Platform to say, look, man, I kind of want to try Buddy out. And if it don't work, fuck it don't work. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually like I like that because, with Jeremy, him bringing on players and then starting things through what we was doing, because him and Shane are like, people don't know this, but him and Shane are like kind of like our what's the word I'm looking for? We got an alliance, you know what I'm saying, where it's like it's me, Jeremy, Shane, Howard, the whole nine, and like we all help each other like build on what we trying to do. So anytime I do something, Shane gonna always be in it, Jeremy gonna always be in it. Like that's how they rock and they make sure. But they've helped people. Like I got a chance to meet Clee through Jeremy's tournament with Pedro Posse in it. You know what I'm saying? Like those are little things that was my first introduction, you know what I'm saying, to like, yo, who the fuck is this kid? Like Jit can go. And they was just testing them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we got like, and that's what made me see, okay, before we even got into the GM5, it was like, oh, they testing players, they build and they kind of boot. Okay, I like that. I like that component. So
That's for sure. All right, so where can they find more information about Put Up or Shut Up and GM5?
Put Up or Shut Up GM5. You can find everything you need to know on our social media handles, every last one of them. You can go to Tony Howard Project on social media. You can go to GM5 League. That's G, the letter G, the letter M, and the number 5. That stands for Got My 5 League. And like I said, that came because so many people was telling us with Put Up or Shut Up, like Mike Pellet, shout out to Mike, man, I already got my 5. I don't want to play in that, bro. I already got my 5. So we literally coined that phrase. You know what I'm saying? And said, okay, we're gonna run with that. You know, so
when is the actual tournament?
June 11th. Is the actual tournament. June 11th. That's when you get your rocks off and find out
and
if you can.
What's the deal with GM5? That's coming back.
GM5 is coming back.
What are we looking at for dates?
I want to say like summertime. I don't want to throw a date at y'all because we still trying to get stuff together. We're trying to figure out, make sure we're gonna do the season a certain kind of way. Just all the kinks and bells and whistles. We trying to have it at Crooms this year. You know, just kind of merging out of that Seminole State situation. But summertime is when we looking to kind of vamp it back up. We're doing early registration April 26th. So if you got a team, sign them up April 26th. Just go ahead and get that out the way so when we start sending out information, you'll be ready. You know.
All right. You don't expect it to start. Do you expect it to start before the put up or shut up on June 11th?
No, hell no. No. So April 26th is the early registration, so we can just start getting engaged. Because, again, we just one organization that's running all these events, so we just trying to jumpstart it, get it going.
You best case scenario, you're thinking like early
like August. Yeah, like August. Yeah, because we're going to do you got the showcase first. That's probably going to be what the summertime is. Because if we can get enough teams in early registration to start signing up, by the time we get to the showcase, you got them plus the return teams. You got a good-ass showcase, and now you got a good-ass selection to choose from. You know what I'm saying? And then run it. So, yeah, definitely.
I had one last thing I wanted to run with before we end the show here. And Pinka kind of wanted your comments on it. So Skip Bayless is apparently about to face off against Cam Newton. So, you know, Skip Bayless, a 3-point shootout.
Oh, my God.
My overall thing is because Cam had some issues with Skip Bayless about some comments he made, just like everybody else does. And my overall thing is if you don't like Skip, just Skip is like dying, probably physically, literally, but also his career is dying.
Yeah.
Like right now you're handing him a leaf. Cam Newton has one of the biggest platforms out right now.
Yeah.
You're handing him a leaf by agreeing to do this 3-point shootout with him. Like you can't see this. Like he's baiting you into this.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, like we're gonna replay the video, but he can't shoot worth a damn. I mean, it's all like whatever. But go ahead. I just wanted your take on that.
This strikes at one of my things. I don't like Skip Bayless. I agree that he's like a dinosaur that's fading out, and I really don't like this idea that somebody who has a thriving platform is going to extend that platform to a guy that doesn't deserve it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I don't like that Mike Tyson's fighting Jake Paul
I know, we
for
haven't
the
talked
same
about it.
reason.
Yeah.
Because you're giving your name
Yeah.
that you built your life on to this ass clown.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that? I despise the way that Trump is covered.
Yeah.
If I controlled the media, he would barely be mentioned. And when he would, it would be in the most insulting terms.
Yeah.
For the exact reason you're saying. When somebody has a viable, a hot brand and you attach it to something, what you attach it to benefits.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do that? Like starve them. Like starve them of attention.
That's the way.
And let them die out. Let their ratings peter out. Let their relevance peter out. Don't give them the dignity of a response, and damn sure don't give them the dignity of showing up in the same place at the same time to do anything.
Yeah.
Let the man die.
That's the one thing about Shannon. Like what Shannon does, if he's asked about Skip or forced to talk about it, he'll say, "Man, I appreciate the opportunity he gave me." Blah blah blah. But he will not get into what happened, and I don't think it's because he's uncomfortable with talking about it. I just think he just wants to limit his Skip Bayless talk because it is starving Skip. I mean,
it's a shrewd move.
He's dying.
But I don't like I think people don't see that picture that you're talking about. I think that they're like, oh yeah, why not? People look at this and they do it.
Yeah.
But you're diminishing yourself by associating with that guy.
Yeah. That's what I say.
I don't
so
like
Cam,
it at
you're
all.
losing. You think you're winning because you're gonna get in this 3-point shootout. You're probably gonna kick his ass and talk shit, but really you're losing because Skip doesn't care whether he wins or loses.
You're in the same place with him, and he's gonna get the picture of you guys after the thing, whatever. You know, don't give it to him.
Yeah,
don't give it to him, man.
All right, you guys have been on the bench podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Peace.